I don't know if go live took. All right, there it is. All
Did
right.
it?
Yeah, I don't know why there
Nice.
was a drag on that, but we're here. All right, we made it.
By the skin of our teeth, really.
Yeah, yeah, look at that. All right. So, I'm thrilled to have you here.
Oh,
I
dude,
have
I'm just a simple
been
man.
seeing you everywhere for what seems like so long now. It's
Well,
unbelievable. It's
sir, I'm humbled because I'm just a simple man, just
yeah.
trying to make his way through the galaxy.
Well, you've made your way quite far, as it seems.
Well, well, shoot. At
I,
least
I
find me dinner
feel,
first, Ken.
yeah. I mean, at 9 out of 10 places I pop in, somehow you're there.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it either. So that's that's a question that you and I may never know the answer to. But we're here.
Yeah, yeah, and it's you've put yourself in a spot where you I've lurked for a million years everywhere I am.
Me too.
You, everyone knows who you are, where you are now. So
Yeah,
where
that's
did you transition from lurking? How did you go about that?
Ken. That's a really good question. So I kind of have to, in my mind, I have to kind of turn back the clock a little bit. I
Sure.
mean, I've always kind of been a lurker. I never had like a dark phase or whatever people call it, like where you got out of the hobby. Um, the closest thing I had to it is, we kind of talked backstage was when I went into the army. It makes it a little bit hard to do any form of collecting or hobby that's not involving, adult items like they have to be 21 for. Um, and so that's where I really just started like prior to that, like most people I feel back when Solid Brick Studios was still Lego Boy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days.
Oh man.
Those are a very long time ago. I was like 8 or 9 back at that time. And then going all the way through school, I was, mowing lawns, shoveling driveways, whatever, up until I got my first real job, which was at a movie theater called Regal Cinemas that we all know, but they're sadly fizzling out. Um, and that allowed me to buy more Lego, more Lego. Then I just kind of kept up with the community as it was growing. And during that time, that's kind of like where M&R was really starting to kind of take off, and like that 2018, 2019 frame was kind of like right in there. And that led me like when I enlisted. And then so really, I guess where I really started to get involved with the community was when Life Bricks was doing his live streaming. RIP to those. May they forever rest in peace, because I feel like they have brought this community to an aspect of a closeness that it's hard to replicate. Because those streams led me into ACOB. A couple of brickheads, Sean and Brent.
Right.
Uh, Very still mind blowing. I was talking to a few people the other day where it was a weird transition, kind of in retrospect, and kind of like zeroing in on where I'm at present day. It's weird, 2, 3 years ago, I was just watching them as like a fan or whatever, and now it's like I could literally drop them a line at any time and get a have a chat or something. So it's really humbling. Oh, I was talking to Nate Bills about this. We were talking playing some Battlefront 2 the other night. Like we were kind of discussing like where did that transition hit for both of us, because it was like one day we were both watching True Squadron's videos, and now we're like good friends with them, you know. Um, so I guess kind of getting involved with the ACOB community, doing like it all really started, right when Brent was doing Sean's birthday video, not this past year, but previous. Where I did the infamous jump into a bathtub with battle pack strapped with box of boys strapped to my chest. That's kind of where it started. And then dunking water on my head. At some point, you would think I'd be called Water Bricks for how much stuff I was doing with water. It was very weird looking back, but that's what made it fun. Um, and then I guess going into like the transition point where I sit now was just an inkling from that 24-hour live stream. I did it because it was like right around the time where my dad passed away, like anniversary point. And, you know, he passed away with leukemia. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do something good with it. And I kind of talked to Sean. Originally, it's, me and Padawan were going to do it. Like over Christmas, you know, we were going to do something. And then he got a little bit busy and we kind of forgot about it. So like 2 days leading up, like, shoot, I still have to do this 24-hour live stream. I'm a man of my word. So I went and bought a MacBook. And that's basically where it went. And now it's weird to think just almost 5 months later, we're at this point, and it's whacked. I still can't comprehend it.
Wow. That's such a short time.
Yeah, like a span of like 3 to 4 years is just like where it all kind of took off.
So going back to Sean's birthday video there.
Oh boy.
How did you initially get tied in with them?
Oh, so, you know, that was after like a year and a half of just like chatting. You know, I never really worked in the ACOP time. That's just because like I spent a lot of time working through Tyler's streams and whatnot, getting close to that. Then I decided to just comment one day, and then it took off from there. But, you know, I was in the chat, you know, into Discord, you know, I was getting close with the boys, you know, And Brunt kind of like shot me a DM on Discord. It's like, hey, would you want to, I'm making this video for Sean for his birthday. Like, we just wanted to know how much of like the Girth gang loves him, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I can do something. And so I'm like, shoot, what do I do? Like, it has to be funny, and it has to get the message across. And so I'm like, you know what? At the time, I was given a countdown for Brick World, which I still do to this day, every week.
Yep.
And so I'm like, you know what? I don't have any fancy gadgets or whatever, so I just went down to my printer, ripped out some 8 by 11.5 printer paper, wrote the countdown. I just doused water on myself with the birthday message, and that's just kind of how that happened. The water was so off key because I was just holding a water bottle. I don't know why. I mean, I usually have some form of hydration handy, and I'm like, shoot, the cap was off. It was just like that. I don't know how that. It was just like, oh, just do it.
Spontaneity is half of the fun, right?
That's what they say. That is what they say.
That's great. So how much longer after that was Brick World? Because that was a couple months before Brick World, right?
Yeah, about a little bit more time than we're at right now with the countdown. Okay. So we were probably 90s, like 109 days out, I think, if I had to give a rough guess.
Okay. All right. It wasn't for another, 2.5 months that you met them after that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think going back to what we discussed previously, like how did I decide to get going on my own, you know, it was very much at Brick World, you know, being able to meet Mayday Figs in person, you know, that, and then just hanging out with the boys in Chicago. That was a really big selling point. And there was a point, I think it was actually my birthday, where Tyler and Ryan just told me, like, come up on stage and give me a hot take. And then that's where the cookies started to crumble. You know, it was just there. And I still think to this day, my take is still the best, where they should do a prototype Boba Fett Slave 1 and Boba Fett. You know, if they did the Dark Side Falcon, you can do the prototype Bobes again.
Well, maybe it's time to write in to Rebuild the Galaxy, because that might be the closest shot, right?
It is. Hopefully, isn't there a season 2 of that show coming?
That's what they say.
Well, I'll believe it when I darn well see it.
Yeah.
Same with like the Jedi games. We still need a third one.
Didn't Coop already put out a set number for Rebuild the Galaxy set?
I believe he did, but I can't tell you what it is. I'm not
Yeah.
that I'm not like good with spreadsheet as much as I wish I was. He's more of a hands-on feller in that aspect.
Yeah.
He's the number one leaker in the game, if you ask me.
Yeah, his rise to stardom has been something else.
Yeah,
It's been impressive to watch.
yeah, and it's funny to think, him and I were kind of in like the same pathway. I don't want to put words or whatever in his mouth, but we were both kind of like lurking. Then we got with the chat, and then we both started our pages kind of around the same time, which is kind of funny too. So, and I'm very glad to be able to call Coop a really good friend. That's the one thing I can take away from all of this is 10 years down to like 5 years, whatever it'll be down the line, where the Lego content creation space could just be completely flatlined. But you get close with these, like with you, we'll all have like some form of connection, after all this is long said and forgotten about in the archives of the internet.
Yeah, the Lego community as a whole, and there's so many different spots in it. It's amazing how easily you can kind of step into a circle and get along with everybody without being fully immersed in that group, and everybody still gets along great.
Yeah,
and you can kind of bounce around
as long as you're chill. You're good.
Yeah. And that's huge because everywhere you go, there's always that one kind of feisty guy that's around for just a little bit. I don't know if
they go into the abyss.
They get pushed away, or how that works exactly.
They go into the community graveyard. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen a community as welcoming as the Lego community.
That's for sure.
It's so much different than I ever expected it to be.
Yeah. It's definitely transformed.
Yeah, and it's the guys in the Lego community are guys.
There's dudes.
Yeah.
Simple man, some could say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's one of my first experiences was finding Kelly Bricklick, which coincidentally is how I found ACOB.
Yeah.
And like Shy is not the kind of guy I would have expected in the Lego community.
No.
I mean, not like his personality. I mean, he's such a great guy, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's tattoos, military background, riding a motorcycle.
Dude's the most badass dude that you could ever think of. And lo and behold, he has a whole Lego realm.
Yeah.
And he's the most humble guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And going way back to when I was a kid, which is a long time ago at this point.
So ancient days, or are we talking?
I'm the same age as Sean. So
what? No way.
Yeah.
So you're 29 too?
Yeah, 29 was a long time ago. But back then I associated Lego with like the people you don't see. They just go home and they hide in the little corner. I don't know if any of that was true because I never took part in any of that. I was much later in life when Lego became a thing for me.
Yeah. For me, mine was very much like, I don't know, like, hey, you got out of the womb, little Austiff, go play with some plastic.
That's very
much that type.
So, where were you in the Star Wars releases? Like, when exactly did you start?
Like watching them?
With Lego specifically.
Oh, with Lego specifically. Definitely Revenge of the Sith, because I remember going and seeing that film with my dad. And right across the street with Toys R Us. Like, as soon as you walked out the doors of the theater, right across the street where, it had Joffrey or whatever the giraffe's name is right there, like coming through the O. And we went there, and he goes, okay, it was me and my brother. And he's like, you guys can each pick out 2 sets. So I immediately, I think it was the Darth Vader transformation where you could like flip it over.
Oh yeah.
And still wish I had that set. Like, yeah, I could go get like another one, but I want that one, you know. Yeah. But and then I think my brother and I combined our money, and we got the duel with Anakin, Obi-Wan, the light up sabers in their hands. You could like,
wow.
It's, I don't know, that thing kept us entertained for weeks. And I think that was about it. You know, it was right then. And then like a few years after the fact, you know, that's when the Clone Wars came out. And that's definitely where, you know, I got those Revenge of the Sith sets, and then I was very much like a Lego City. It's because, you know, it was like, whatever we got was like from family members on Christmas. So they kind of went with like the most PG thing. It's like, nah, I want some clone troopers and some battle droids just like blowing each other up. You know, at that young age, I was already primed, I guess.
That's great.
And yeah, that's I definitely think it's where it started. It was definitely like partially with Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars.
Right. So at that point, it feels to me like it would be a lot easier to get into Lego with Star Wars existing.
Yeah.
Starting before that, like, I don't know how anybody did it.
No. If you have that answer, Ken, one day, tell me.
Yeah, well, you see a lot of people in the community that look at Jabo, bricks art every day.
Yeah.
He's building as long as I've been alive, I think. And I don't understand.
Wowzers.
You had 5 colors back then.
What is it? Yellow, red, blue, white, black, and some other like Roy G. Biv colors?
Green or something. I don't know. But they were plastic Lincoln logs, more or less. At that day.
Here's your 2x4 brick.
Yeah, I guess that had to be the origin of mock building because you had no other choice.
That'd be really interesting to do research on, like, where was mock building born?
Yeah.
Like, when?
And they had so many less pieces to choose from.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine it holding my interest.
No.
But it's the things people build, it's astounding.
It's like art museum level.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Yeah.
If only I had their skill.
Yeah, and you've talked to some legends lately.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, it's in your rise here. All of a sudden, you have a legit show. You're not just talking. It's a real show. Where'd that come from?
You know, I'm still asking myself that very same question. I just don't. I don't know how it happened, per se. Like in the promise that you're speaking, like with it becoming like a legitimate show. But I just remember it's like right after the 24-hour stream or whatever, it was like cool on that following Sunday, which I think was Christmas or the day after Christmas or whatever. And I was just, you know, I was still wide awake from that. I did the 24 hours and I was still up for like another 24 with all the family stuff going on. And I just remember it was like laying on my grandmother's floor in her living room. And I'm like, I had this exact ball cap over my head just trying to sleep. And then I'm like, holy crap, I have an idea. And so I'm like, because I'm a big Lex Fridman fan, like the podcast, you know.
Awesome.
I'm like, I think I was listening to that. I'm like, you know, I'd love to do this, but Lego-fied. And so I'm like, okay, so what would the name be? I'm like, well, why not? Like, this all happened like the span of 15 minutes. We come up with a name or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, Brick Connection sounds pretty cool. So maybe, and I shot Cody a DM, Matt Black Brick's best producer in the game for any custom that you need. He's definitely the man. He has some hot stuff locked and loaded coming this year. Awesome. And so I shot him a DM because in my head I'm like, every podcast always has a sponsor or someone who they're affiliated with, yada yada. I'm like, you know, I'll shoot Cody a DM. I'm like, hey, I gave him like the idea of what I had. I'm like, hey, I just want to have like a one-on-one show, kind of interacting with it. Not interacting, because it originally was going to be pre-recorded. It wasn't until a few days after the fact I put out a poll or whatever, like, would you guys want these episodes pre-recorded or live? Of course, everyone said live. That was a really silly question for me to put out there. And I'm glad it turned out live, because I feel like I built it to a point where it could be like simultaneously, you could listen to it live, but also not live and still feel like you're a part of it. That was the main thing I wanted to do. So I was like, Cody, yeah, I want to do this podcast, and hear me out. I'd love to have you as like a sponsor or affiliated with the chat, because I'm like, we were pretty good friends, and I really want to do this with someone, and I want to do it with you. I don't want to go to someone else. I want to keep it in the bromance circle, between all of us in ACOP. And maybe not 2 minutes later, he was like, I love the idea. What are we doing? And I was like, shoot, I didn't expect you to reply that quick. I thought it was going to be like a 2-day, because I didn't even have the answer myself. So I plugged into ChatGPT, like, what would be a good response to this? It was just that. And so I was like, luckily at that point, I built really good relationships with Kennedy, True Squadron, Cole from Legoman 360, everyone that I've had on the show, like Coconut, I was in his chats for 2 years, so we got, everything. So I was able to, build friendships with these people beforehand. And once, the idea really started rolling, I'm like, okay, so who do I get on here? I'm like, did I just dig myself into a hole? Because I can't just have a show where it's just me talking. That would be the most boring thing ever. And but at the same time, I didn't want to do like what Sean and all of them are doing, because that's a very different aspect of like the Lego live streaming culture, I guess you can say. But I love it to bits, and I didn't want to take a tear out of their book. I wanted to do something, fairly, I don't want to say original, but I guess that's the only way I could probably describe it. I mean, yeah, you have Sitting on a Stoop, and I really look up to Shy. Him being a fellow veteran in the space, and there's not many of us. And I didn't want to step on any toes with what he was doing. And so I shot him a DM. I'm like, I want to have your blessing first. I don't want to do this, I don't want to take a rip out of like Sitting on a Stoop or whatever. And he left me on red. I'm like, shoot, did I just ruin something here? But the dude literally just got both of his accounts and followed the Brick Connection Instagram, and all he says, go for it. And I'm like, that's the most like OG thing he could have done. Like, that's like the most BA. I'm like, dude, let's do it. Let's run it. And so the first episode was Cole, and I felt like I owed him that due diligence, because he was like the first person I really got close with in the space. It's at the point where him and I will just call each other up on a Tuesday and have like a 2-hour conversation. Just completely, not even Legofied or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll have you, because that's the hard thing. Like, I built all these friendships and everything, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or, make them feel sidelined. Because a lot of people inspired this, and I didn't want to upset anybody. So I'm like, it has to be Cole. Because at first it was going to be Coconut, but we were just on 2 different schedules, because it was kind of around the time of what was that brick convention in Georgia?
It's Atlanta BrickCon.
Yeah, it was that around that time. And so we just couldn't pinpoint a date. Well, excuse me. We couldn't pinpoint a date. So I'm like, don't worry, bro, we'll get you another time. He's chill about it. And then I wanted to get Nate as well, because he's also someone I've maybe only known since very, very itty bitty end of December. And it's like, I can't imagine not knowing him. It's like, that dude he's something else. There's just not enough things I can say about Nate from Nate Builds. That man is for sure in the top 3 people I've ever met in my life. Like, not even in Lego, but in general. And it's like, if I ever needed something, that man would probably be on a flight. You know, if the stuff hit the fan, you know, he would be the one guy I could always rely on. But not to get all sappy there. Like, gosh, don't want to get the tissues. But so making it into a legitimate show. That is, you know, it's, I don't see it as a legitimate show. I'm not sure if that's just me being the, you know, the person who runs it or whatever it is. I just feel like it's just me just in my little tiny itty bitty small corner of my height, you know, translated into the internet. I'm stupid short in real life, and I own it. I am what they would call vertically, you know, vertically stuck. And just trying to even think how I could even explain it being like its own legitimate show. It's just, I just wanted to stay true to who I am and what I enjoy and what I wanted to see in space. Because I saw there was a very empty void for, you know, like live streamed one-on-ones. Like Shy's are all pre-recorded, and I love that.
Yep.
But mine, I feel like I'm the only one. I like how I'm saying Shy and I actually have it so sitting on a stoop brick looking right at me. It's like Shy is always looking me down, you know. It's just like he's always watching. But yeah, I'd just say is just wanting to do what I wanted to see in the community, and I wanted to, you know, kind of grow an audience with the boys, you know, with a show that, you know, for everyone at ACOB that may not have something that they look forward to on Saturday nights, where they might have, you know, something to gravitate towards or just spend their time. Because I feel like a lot of us are in this same thing with being an adult, where it's like it's really hard to make actual friends in reality in today's world. So it's like you can't really, it's not like you can go hang out, like call someone up like, hey, let's go to like a bar crawl this weekend. You know, it's not something that really happens, at least where I'm at or my experience. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I just wanted to be able to have a place where I could, you know, talk to my friends. You know, that's what it really comes down to. Is I just want a spot where I could hang out with my friends more than just Brick World once a year.
Yep.
And that's really where it all kind of that's where that pot boils to, is just wanting to have an offspring community of ACOB in a way. We're just having a spot where we can all get together, but not only that, but we can take a look at other avenues of the LEGO community. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, I really hope I can shine a light on a certain aspect of the community that someone didn't know existed, and they go enjoy that realm along with what they're already part of. Just, I don't know, it's making everything more cohesive and like a family unit.
That's great, because so from watching your show, you have put these people on my radar, and I mean, nobody should take this personally, of course, but you can't be aware of everybody, right?
Yeah, it's impossible.
So it's a great way to find out about new people, and the way you present it, you actually get to find out about them as well as what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Both is very important, I think.
Yeah.
And
because you have to understand the creator.
Yeah, and you know, you can see people in chat, and you kind of get the vibe of their personality and a little bit about what they're into.
Yeah.
But you don't bond with the person, because you don't know their story, where they're coming from, whatever. It's like, yeah, we have similar interests, but you're actually a shitbag. You don't know, right?
No, yeah.
And
so this is the whole shitbag wine guy. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, but those people are out there.
Yeah, they are.
You don't encounter them often, but it's
when you
nice
do encounter them,
people you can relate to.
Yeah, it's like whenever you do encounter them, you hope that you have a bottle of Purell nearby, and just get clean.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, and that's kind of what we try to do as well. Well, I say we. Saunders is off tonight; he's moving right now.
Oh, but I hate moving.
Yeah, he's he's got a bit of a hike, and he's got a lot of Lego he's going to drag with him. So
I'd imagine, yeah, from what I've seen, man's got a lot.
Yeah, so good luck to him. Hopefully he's doing okay tonight.
Lots of bubble wrap.
Yeah, it's we never have anyone even close to related to each other 2 weeks in a row.
Mm.
Because I want to find out who all these people are.
Yeah.
People in streams here and there, and it's like, well, who are you and what are you doing? I want to know all about it.
Mm.
And I think the community needs more of that. So
yeah.
I think what you're doing is great. I was
Thank
actually listening to the beginning of your show with Coconut today.
Mm. Oh, really?
I had missed that one.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you listening.
I had heard, I forget where it was, at some point, like prior to tonight, I had heard you mention the Lex Fridman thing, which I thought is great because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
All of his conversations with Michael Malice, I think, are astounding. The two of them together, I think, make a great pair. So, unfortunately, that's planted in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I watch you with somebody, I start to listen a little bit. Like, okay,
you can kind of tell.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if you noticed, but this black curtain is very much spawned from Lex Fridman.
That's great.
But if you don't mind, I want to circle back. Like how I kind of got going the pre-birth of the show. Martin, or everyone knows him as Cool Han. I got my stride with him really is right after Brickworld. I knew him in the ACOB chats and such, but I never really got to personally know him or what he was doing, because around that time I was doing some hospital work and I was busy all the time, and he was like, "Hey mate," I'm not gonna say where he's. I don't want to. He always corrects me where he's from. I'm not even gonna say it. Don't want to upset him, but just for the kicks and giggles, he's from England. just to mess with, just to press his buttons.
Oh man!
I know he'll immediately. I don't know where he's at right now. He'll come out of the woodwork like, it's not England, just to see him do that. But he was like, "Hey, come talk about Brickworld. You seem like you had a good time, and all of us from across the pond are gonna come this year." And I'm like, "Yeah." So, and he's like, "Hey, I would love to have you on as like an official."
Oh, there he is.
Oh, is he here?
Yeah.
I knew it would get him. I knew it. That's how you bait Cool On. It's like the carrot and a stick, but it's a stick in England with him. And he gave me very much an outlet to come on into a show that's already built inside the community. So in a way, if it wasn't for Cool Han Luke Bricks, there would be no Brick Connection or what Austiff Bricks is. So he's very much someone that drove me and gave me that outlet to try and do something. So there's not enough thanks I can give to him for kind of like making me go out of my shell, I guess.
Oh, what is this? Black flag equals shit. Black flag equals... What is this last one here?
Sunglasses emoji.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. I'm not a very cultured emoji man. About the most used emojis I'll use is the laughing face and the Italian. That's about it. As Nate knows, him and I exchange this one all the time. It could be in the most stupidest way. Like, I made some Korean barbecue tonight. I'm like, oh yeah, I made ramen noodles. It's just like that. But
yeah, it's
Welsh.
English.
He's a Welsh man. I always want to say he's a Wales.
Yeah. Well, Welsh is from Wales, right? That's how that works.
Well, I just know these both start with W.
Very nice.
So not for me.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, he's doing it. Very nice indeed.
I love it. I don't even know what that hand is. That's like the old lady in the kitchen.
Yeah, very much
Uh,
that. Very much
okay.
esque.
All right, that makes sense to me.
Or it's the upside down salt bay. Whatever you want to know it as.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it was last year your first Brick World?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
And
So
I'm definitely
how did that work for you? I mean, obviously you had a good time, but
like
were
leading
you
up.
nervous going in?
Oh, I was
Solo?
terrified. I was like 2 minutes away from canceling my hotel and ticket.
Wow.
I was terrified because it may not seem like it, but you know, when internet shut down or whatever, I'm like with fellow human beings in the flesh. Yeah, I don't say a word. I'm very much a what is it? What are they called?
Introvert?
Yeah, I'm a very big introvert. Like today, or yesterday, my day off, all I did, I just watched Daredevil the entire day. That's all I did. I don't even think I got up to eat or get a drink. I just sat on my couch and watched Daredevil. That was it. Says, outside of like jujitsu or Lego, yeah. If get me to talk, good luck. That's, I really have to either like you as a person and like you as a person. That's about it. But going into Brickworld, yeah, I was terrified because I'm like, yeah, I'm really close to these people on the internet, but they're on the internet. Like, is that going to be different, like in real life, or is there going to be like an awkward gap of trying to connect with this person in reality? Because it's very different, hanging out with, these people you see online and then going to some big convention. It's also not to mention the largest Lego convention in the world. And amongst all these other like hundreds and thousands of people, you also have to worry about your clique that you rolled up with. So that was like a big thing for me. I was like, oh boy, what has little Austiff gotten himself into? It's like, can I bring my cat? Like, can I, that's where I was very much at. You can ask my mom. I was like texting her, like, hey, is it cool if I bring my cat? She's like, I'd probably say no, unless you want to like pay like 5 times more in your room for damages or whatnot. Like, that's valid. But Coop texted me. He's like, hey, do you want to pick me up at the airport? I'm like, okay, sure. So luckily, him and I were very much on like that same playing field where we were both really nervous. It was both our first times. We didn't know like in the flesh of anyone, and it was really neat seeing that trend. Like as soon as we got there, the very first person we saw as we walked indoors was Mark. The man who runs it all, the chief brick officer. We didn't like say anything to him, but we were like, dude, that's Mark. That's Mark, dude. And we were both like, he looks like he's on the move. He's doing his walk with me pose. He was just going right down, making sure everything was squared away. And then we went to our rooms, or his room, because our room wasn't ready. And we sat down our bags, and we went down to the lobby. And as soon as we get out of the elevators, we run into Sean and Brent. Cool. So it was like, man, how much more perfect can this start? Just running into your friends right off the rip. And I was first blown away with how tall Sean is. Like, let me get this out of the way. I'm blown away with how tall everyone is compared to me. Like, whoever you are, I'd probably have to look up to see you. And then Sean was just like a gigantor. Like, that man and this, like, 3 Austins tall. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, that man is a big man. Like, he is tall. And Brent, Brent and I live an hour from each other. And we haven't, like, hung out yet, but we're both very busy people. And, yeah, so once we went to the Bricks and Minifigs, Kennedy rolled up, Stud Lake, basically all the boys came. And I immediately kind of forgot, like, the shyness and nervousness. It was just, like, there was no awkward moment. It was, like, very much who you see on the internet is who you see in real life. Reckon, Stud Lake doesn't look like a Mandalorian in real life. He doesn't have a helmet on, and Coop isn't a battle droid. It's and that's another thing, because up to that point, we'd never really seen each other, like, face to face. It was just character images, it was stuff like that. Um, but yeah, for anyone that's like, and that's currently in my position, how I was last year. Uh, please don't cancel your ticket or hotel. Just go. I mean, if you feel like you're not going to know anyone, just shoot me a DM and I'll link up with you and we'll make sure you have a good time. Um, that's that's the best way I can. First World very much became the time of my life without me really even realizing it.
Incredible.
It's like it's the best time.
And it started from you wanting to back out.
I know, right? Quite
it's perfect.
180 difference. I used to be a hokey pokey addict till I turned myself around.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I have pretty bad social anxiety, which is unfortunate because I'm an extrovert. It's a very horrible clash.
I would imagine so.
But I am going this year. My wife's coming too. We'll be there Tuesday to Sunday.
So look at that. You already know one person that's going to be there.
Yeah, and that's a huge help. And it's still going to be a struggle to get to the airport.
O'Hare?
Well, we're flying out of Boston, so even there.
You're a Red Sox guy.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, it's been a pleasure.
I've been here forever.
I'm joking. What do you dirty like that? I'm a Baltimore guy.
That's if you're gonna go somewhere else. I mean, honestly, you guys, at least these days, have a much more family-friendly park.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We don't have that vibe that we used to anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to take out a loan to get a ticket these days anyway.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's brutal. I haven't looked in a while, but you're not going anywhere near there for under a couple $100 anymore. It's not a thing that's going to happen.
That's nuts. Like, yeah. I live in like the Cleveland area, so it's like anytime I go to Progressive, I maybe pay like $14 for my ticket. It's like, they start at like $8.
Wow. But yeah. I mean, I forget what it is. It's 16 for a beer now. It's out of control.
I wish it was 16. It's like 24.
Is it that high?
Yeah, my sister and I had every intent to get completely like blacked out drunk at Progressive when Baltimore came to town. Safe to say we were sharing a beer at that point. We were like, yeah, no, this is not happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's whatever it is. It's $50 to park or something crazy.
Yeah, it's like
find anywhere within walking distance.
You usually have to park like 5 miles away.
Yeah, and we have the least travel-friendly city imaginable.
Yeah, I will never drive through Boston again.
Yeah, you can't. And the amount of buildings in our city has doubled in the last 5 years. It's unbelievable. Our skyline doesn't even look the same anymore.
I went there in 2014, but I did get to go inside the Green Monster, which was cool.
That is cool. That's cool.
Don't know how that happened, but
just luck of the draw.
Yeah, they're like, hey, do you guys want to go walk the field? We're like, sure. And they're like, hey, let's go inside the Green Monster. I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna say no.
And I remember the days of Manny Ramirez just wandering into the Green Monster like in the middle of a game.
Good old Manny. He started here in Cleveland. And then after Boston, he went to the Dodgers, and then he got into some trouble.
Yep. And he played in the Japanese league, I think it was.
Yeah.
Career.
Yeah. I think the Mexican league, too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
For like a season. Then now, I think he was a batting coach. But don't know anymore.
Yeah, I basically stopped paying attention to all sports when I had kids.
I'd imagine I'd do it.
Yeah, it takes away the last 5 minutes of spare time you have here and there. But yeah, absolutely a nice wild trade-off.
Yeah, very jealous that that's a goal.
Yeah.
Just imagine a little havoc that would be raised on the internet with little mini Austiffs running around on there. That's nuts. Imagine all the water bottles will be slung. That's all. At that point, might as well be refilling them with tap water.
Yeah, it's we'll see what tap water looks like in a couple of
If
years.
that's even a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So at Brick World, do you actually do any of the events going on within Brick World? Any of the whatever they are, seminars or any of that? Or you just chill the whole time?
I went and did a few. Like for me, I'm a big customs guy. That's my number one thing with Lego, is I love me some customs. Uh, and I saw that Mayday was going to be there with Gossler and like all these other big shots in the custom realm. And they had a class called the Introduction of How to Get into Pad Printing.
Oh,
And I was like,
that's cool.
signed up for that real quick. And then I heard chatter that Sean was doing. Sean, Brent, Tyler, and Ryan were doing a panel. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go in that just to support the boys or whatever. And I think those were the only two I went to.
Wow.
Because, Sean and them, they had the foosball tournament, as part of their booth. So, I mean, I spent more. I wish I could tell you more that I remember from Brick World. Let's just say there's a lot of cool lattes consumed where it kind of blurs it out. I was learning French real quick. And I was running around, being Austiff distribution. Running around getting cores left and right, going out with the boys to bricks and minifigs, going out to dinner, looking around at the exhibit because I swear every time you walked around in the loop, you saw something new.
It's huge.
Yeah. It makes a semi-truck look small. That hall. Like,
that's great.
Tiny. You could probably fit, I kid you not, like 30 semis in there.
Holy shit.
That's being graceful. Like, if you had them all parked evenly in rows, you could probably put 30 in there.
Amazing. That must have looked really cool all lit up.
Oh, yeah.
Were you there when they shut the lights?
Yeah. I can't remember too much of it, but from what I do, yeah, it was sick. I mean, there was me and a few other people. We bought lightsabers. We were just like flinging them around. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. Wow, a few brews deep, slinging lightsabers around in a hall full of Lego. But we did it.
So you can actually drink inside?
What?
Oh, okay. So can and do or yeah, okay. I got you.
At your own discretion.
Yep, fair enough.
We busted out the stuff after the public hours were done.
Okay.
When it was like the end of the night after we went for dinner, that's the highlight of Brick World, like going to dinner. Because like I'm very much a food addict. I love food. And any chance there was food, I'm like, where? I'm going. I reckon we went to Fox and Hound a lot, had some ping pong tournaments. Sean's the king. But it's very much, you can easily get away with that convention, if you go with the right group and not pay a whole lot of mind to Lego.
Wow. So you're there for the Lego people, not for the Lego.
In a sense, yeah. It's like, where else do you get to hang out with all your friends? It's not often.
Where else do you get to meet your friends for the first time?
Yeah. That's
Which
for
is
sure.
Wild to think about.
Yeah. I know.
Talk to people all year long and then see them once.
Yeah. It's sad when you put it in that in perspective, but thank God for the internet.
Yep. Yeah. But it makes the time more special, more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Right?
It makes it so you would do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you got? 5 people in your room now?
Yeah. We got 5.
Yep.
But
so you make every minute count.
Yeah. Especially like, CJ or Padawan HQ, him and I have been pretty good friends since I can't even remember. And this will be the first time I actually get to meet him,
Wow.
Like, yeah, we FaceTimed like several times a week, but, this will be the first time I actually get to give that man an embrace, It's it's gonna be a surreal moment, and him and I are getting. I get in June 6th, so I'm getting in way before the convention even starts.
Wow, that's really early.
Because that's when CJ flies in, and a few other people. We're all getting in a little bit early to hit the town per se before. So we're gonna be pre-gamed hard before Brickworld hits.
That's bananas. The 6th. Yeah, we're in on the 10th. I believe Kulan's in on the 10th as well.
Yep.
Tuesday. And even that's early. Brickworld doesn't start till Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I figured, getting in on Tuesday gives time to settle in, figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And out of flight delays.
Brickworld does a very good job keeping you informed of what the convention is going to be leading up to the convention. As long as you keep an eye on your email.
Yep.
They do a very good job with that.
So going back, go ahead.
No, you go.
So going back to you mentioning customs there.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to explain customs to me a little bit. So I suppose the whole purpose is to just fill in blanks where minifigures haven't existed or to improve on ones that weren't very good, right?
Jingo Fett. Yeah.
Yeah. So, to me, because I've loved all the movies. Okay, maybe not all of them, but I've enjoyed them well enough and loved some of them. And most of the shows were either good enough or great, maybe one exception. But I watch them and I enjoy them, whatever. I don't think at any point in time I've been able to say, wait a minute, he's missing 3 scratches in whatever spot. I don't know how you guys do that. The attention to detail is wild.
I think it comes down, like, for me, I'm a big perfectionist. So anything I do, or like if I'm watching something, I just know. Like, I'll be like, that doesn't seem like this. And I'll go to the reference and okay, yeah, they fumbled here. But I guess going to your question, like, what is customs? Like you said, it can fill a void of like stuff that Lego just won't ever touch, because it could either be too graphic or just too niche that they won't, they don't have the time or the budget for. So there's 2 different avenues of customs. You can get UV printed, or you can get pad. And for people who don't know what pad is, it's the exact printing technique, and it's usually the same machines that Lego would use themselves. So you're very much getting like a Lego product, but without Lego stamp on it. Like, for example, for people who played the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, like that new one that came out a few years back, there's so many characters we got in that game that we will never see. But the files are sitting there. You can take them out of the game. Lego doesn't care, because if they did, they would have shut it down by now. And someone is going out of their way to make those fakes that we would never have gotten. Like, take, for example, for the longest time, no one thought we were going to get a Cal Kestis. But, someone, was like, I'll make a Cal Kestis. Or, someone wants a Bix, they'll make a Bix. Or it's just, it's a very unique way for, especially like people who are in mock building. Say if there's a scene from Star Wars they really like, but Lego's never done anything with it. Well, you're in luck because someone has probably printed what you're wanting, or it's on the docket to be printed. Like, you can get some really niche stuff. Like, if you played the original Battlefront 2, you can get clone engineers from that game as a figure. The custom entity is way more than just printing now. It's like it used to be when I was, first getting into Lego. Like I said, the Lego Boy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Clone Army Customs was very much the number one dog there, but at the time it was decals. That's another custom. Is you used to put a little decal on there. I've never messed with decals because they can fall off or scrunch with time, and I'm like, I don't want that. Like, whatever I have, I want it to be future proof. You know, it's grown more than just printing now. There's companies like GCC that's you know, they're making their own molds of helmets that are 1-to-1 Lego, if not even better.
Wow.
So it's like, for example, like I have one here, like Jesse. You know, we'll never get this guy, but the helmet is actually a replica helmet that GCC made in house with their own molds, and it's the same quality as Lego. Like if I same, you know, but there's also something that's in the custom world that's not very relevant in the actual Lego figures. These figures, once they do a wave, there's a chance you're never going to make them again. So you kind of have to crawl. Like, if you miss that drop that had that thing, you better hope you can find it, because it gets very hard to find a custom. Like, speaking from experience, there's a few I've missed, and 2 years have gone by now, and I'm still searching. You know, just hoping it crawls up. But
okay. So is that similar to, well, like Citizen Brick before they upped production? Mm-hmm. I mean, and now they're making a lot of everything.
Yeah,
they can afford to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that kind of deal.
Yeah, yep. I guess for me, with my, I don't know, blame it on my generation. I have what they call clone brain, where I really just look at clones and I'm like, everything else. But Citizen Brick, they've done some great stuff. Like, I'm not sure if you watched A Bear, the TV show.
No.
Oh, it's so good. But they made Carmi. He's like the main character. I think they have him known as like Mr. Beef or whatever on the Citizen Brick. So I was able to get that one. Then I got the Stephen Hawking. I was still blown away that they made a Stephen Hawking in Lego. Like, yeah, you would never. And they even gave him the custom mold for his head too, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, that was special.
Yeah, I mean, I love Stephen Hawking. Not trying to dog on the guy, but it's like factually it's how he looked. So it's like, yep. And me, I'm a stickler for accuracy, you know, but also I don't like my figures to be overdone, if that makes sense. I don't like the 360 print. I like it how Lego would make it. I want it to seamlessly fit within my collection. I don't want it sticking like a sore thumb.
That makes sense. So are these like a sneaker drop where they're like, okay, at noon we're gonna release? Yeah, similar situation.
Yeah, like take the latest drop, like the big drop, Simple Man, that was made by Melnick. Simple Man, for people who don't know, is Jango Fett. Yeah, so that a lot of these, you know, creators such as Melnick, GCC, whoever, Light Customs, the list goes on. They will kind of like, if you follow them on Instagram, they will guide you through what the process looks like behind the scenes, from the design concept to sourcing the parts, using reference images. You can really see the behind the scenes, and I think it's what made this Simple Man project so special. Is that, you know, they said what the next fig was going to be at Brickworld. They said, okay, we're going to be doing Jango Fett. It's going to be titled Simple Man, coming in December. Well, they, you know, parts got backed up. They couldn't get what they needed. So they're like, okay, we're delaying into January, then February. And then it just happened in March. So if you're in the Discord server, you don't even have to be in usually the websites. Shout out to Tom the Builder. You know, good friend of mine, Tom. I'm not even going to say what my code is because I just want people to give him good business because he's a good person. He's also a fellow Orioles fan. So already has my respect because you can lose 100 games in a season and still be a fan. You're a special breed. And, you know, he'll post everywhere, even on his website, like Simple Man's dropping this day at this time, be here by this time to be able to have the best chance to get so-and-so. And that's the thing too, is like Lego can mass produce these figures at like millions of quantity scale. Where with Simple Man, there's only 200, and that's all that's ever going to be there. That's all you're ever going to get is that 200. So, and it's a culture of its own. It's like, if Nate, if he's here, I kind of told him I was going to be on the show, so hopefully he rolled up. Oh yeah, he did, because he commented the chef emoji. Yep. It'd probably help if I pulled up. I saw like the stock StreamYard just with the private chat. I didn't even click the comments tab. Whoops. It gets scary because like you'll hit checkout, and then you'll get the wheel of death that just goes for like 2 minutes, and you just sit there crossing your toes and fingers and whatever else can be crossed, that you got it. And I remember, like, in the live stream drop I did, like celebrating Jango Fett, because for those who don't know, he's probably, I know it's very deceiving, it's what my profile picture is, but everyone had a Mandalorian as theirs, so I picked Echo as my favorite clone. But Jango Fett would probably be my overall favorite character in Star Wars other than Obi-Wan. So I was very hyped. If you guys can't tell, I very much Jango everything at the moment. I mean, you only get to live this once, so I'm doing it. It's like Sean with the sail barge, but it's me as the safe one. So I was like, Shreddy, he's like, hey, you should live stream. It's like, that's a really good idea. Bring another aspect to what it's like being a custom fan. You don't see people, typing in their credit card number, hoping to God or whatever is holy that they can get that figure, So it was neat. Like Tom, he was listening while he was packing orders. He's like, dude, it was really neat watching your perspective. It was like someone like I do the drops. Like I handle like the distribution for you guys, but it was interesting seeing it's like a shopper, what it's like, on that other side. And that was kind of like what I was hoping to do. And Justin got his Janko. And like you said, order confirmed. And I was waiting for 2 more minutes. I'm like, God, my internet's slow. And I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it said order confirmed. I'm like, yes. And then 2 minutes later, my bank calls. And they're like, we declined this charge because we didn't recognize the website. I'm like, brother. So I called Tom up. I'm like, Tom, tell me my order confirmation's there. He's like, do you have the number? I'm like, here's the number. He goes, oh, yeah, I went through. I'm like, whew. I about had a heart attack. Because he could take everything from my collection. I mean, everything for that one Jango. Like, I've never been more excited for a project in my entire life. And watching it from like its birth to its release, it's something really special. It's like you felt like you're a part of it. Like you felt like you were on that team. They immersed it so much that you felt like you were there. I don't know how else to describe it. Like Nate, he was in the circle of death, and sadly, he didn't get his. Very sad. And same with Shreddy. I felt so bad, but it's my mission to help those who wanted a simple man get a simple man.
That's wild. So 200. Now,
sold out in less than 10 seconds.
I would imagine he's got to be charging decent prices for those, right?
For Simple Man was $48.
But so looking at it from the business side, now I'm sure that there's love behind it and all of that, but it still needs to be a profitable business.
Yeah.
Why not turn it up a little bit?
Is
the collectability like?
There's actually
build the hype, or
there's a big looming thing that a lot of people, it kind of goes right over their head. Like there's some people that commented on my stuff that's like, I hate when this happens. Like I demand a change. You have to think part availability. How are they able to source these parts? And are they blank? That's the thing. They have to be blank or wiped. And there has to be an abundance for them. That's the very first thing. Like I have the guy who designed Jango. He's going to be coming on to Brick Connection. I don't want to plug, but for people who want to see that side, that'll be happening. We wanted to do it. in the first 5 episodes, kind of like build the hype of Django, but he was just so busy with his, he was all the way out in Germany, so
Wow.
he's a busy bee between his real life and making all this. He doesn't work with just Jesus. He does like 5 other different brands he does design work for. So he's a busy busy simple man, some could say. But shoot, where was I at?
Limited quantities.
Yes, that's sorry. And it's like that's the very first thing they take into account. Is like how many is this available? And the helmet they're using is the Mando helmet, but completely blank. And there's not many of those circulating. So that adds to the complex availability of it. And that also ties into why you have brands like GCC designing their own helmet molds. And so they no longer have to rely on that. And that's why they're able to mass produce so many, because there's infinite amounts of white torsos and legs and arms and like tan nougat heads. That's an infinite quantity. Besides the helmets, they saw like, hey, we can't keep making these drops profitable if we're spending all we make on just a helmet, so there had to be compromise. And so that's what it comes down to. Is it's not wanting to keep it exclusive, because Melnick said he wishes everyone could get a Django. And it breaks my heart too, seeing that some of the people that did get the Django didn't really want it and are listing it on eBay for $300-$400. Being a scalper, that just shouldn't be a thing. It's like if you're not a fan of it, leave it to those who are fans that can actually treasure that figure. Like people like Nate or Shreddy or the millions of other people. Not going to say millions, but thousands of other people that were in the queue hoping they could get it. But thankfully, Tom and Melnick are teaming up to try and eliminate the scalping of their figs. And I think more companies should do that, because it's like we don't need scalpers. Like there's people saying, oh, Austin, I really want to get it. Should I pay the $250? I'm like, if you pay that $250, I will get a plane ticket to just come over there and slap you and fly right back home. Like, don't do it. Because like in these discords, they like the GCC has a marketplace. Melnick server has a marketplace. People will trade. So if you have a fig from a drop that you didn't get, but they have Simple Man, there you go. And that's where I always say, like, get every figure you can from every drop if you can afford it. Because, like, if you're like me, there's stuff I loved that I didn't get. But you know what? I buy everything else so that I can eventually get that figure or mold, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's definitely part availability. And, like, anything Melnick does, with these big drop figs, they all come in this fancy box,
Oh, look at that.
And it's very much like opening an iPhone. Then you have the styrofoam here, and then they would be tucked away inside.
Wow, that's legit.
So it's an experience. And that's also things, to source 200 of these, get them made, printed, and my favorite thing they do, here's my all-time favorite bounty hunter, Zam, as an Attack of the Clones fan. But with every order, I love that they do it. There's a little thank you card.
Wow.
Has everyone that was a part of the project. And then if you feel the paper, it's like silicone. It feels like rubberized. But it's a very... Oh, wow, I said it was very coveted or whatever. I just dropped it. Wow. But that's part of it too. And I can see, like, that's what I loved about the Zam V2 drop is they did it in tiers. Like the tier 1, just like the printed body, and that was it. Tier 2, you got, the printed body and the helmet. And the big tier were the box ones where you got that, the waist cape, the syringe, the extra head. They didn't do that with Simple Man because, you really can't do that. Django needs his helmet. It's...
Yeah.
And then also, like on the coin, you said like, "Gosh, that's expensive." Well, how much is Jango Fett running? Just a Lego one.
Yeah.
Well,
So the cost makes sense to me
mm-hmm.
because it's a premium product, right?
Yep.
Like the Shadow Girth Trooper and
Yeah.
the holiday box of boys there,
Mm-hmm.
the advent calendar.
Yep.
That stuff
Did
was
you?
expensive, but the price tag made sense.
Yeah.
It's super limited edition. I have an
Mm-hmm.
idea of the work that went into it. I don't know fully, of course, but I get an idea, you
Yeah.
know. So those prices, I didn't flinch at those. I wanted them. I
Mm-hmm.
was going to pay it. Whatever comes out next, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
You know,
And
still kicking myself over the first box of boys.
hey, you never know. Keep an eye out in the ACOB marketplace. You know,
Yeah.
they appear. Um, but there's also, you know, a point too. So I don't buy a whole lot of sets anymore, personally, because I'm not a fan of like all the shrinkage going on, and a lot of the stuff they're making, it just doesn't appeal to me because it's stuff I already have that they're going back and remaking. So it's like me, I live in like a very small, humble abode, you know. So it's like I have to be very like, I don't want to say minimalism, but I have to have a very strict approach with what I buy, and it has to be able to fit. You know, I don't want to go out and rent a storage unit and, you know, take money away from that I could be spending on a Lego product. You know, so in a way, I gave up sets to be able to get these. If that makes, you know, people buy sets, I buy figs. So it's like, you know, it's that trade off. I mean, I'm not gonna say like I'm never buying a set again. Like the best set of our lives is coming out in like a less than a month and a half. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there for that. I just hope that's not poopy looking. Like if it looks mega derp, I may not.
Do you really think that's even in the realm of possibility? I can't see it.
Well,
I don't know.
when I
Oh,
put on
of
my
course, it's possible.
Django glasses real quick, I think it's gonna be beautiful. I think it's gonna be the best thing my eyes have ever darn laid on. You know, Sydney Sweeney can hold a flame to it.
Oh man.
It's gonna be magnificent. I will tuck it into bed every night for a week.
Yeah.
And you know, keep an eye out in the Discord, the ACOP Discord server. I'll just like tuck it in next to me one night. Like me and Bay are saying goodnight.
That'd be great. Yeah, it's. I have high expectations for it. I think the play scale one is going to be a disaster.
Oh yeah.
You were.
Oh yeah. Did we see the last play scale?
Yep.
Like they should go back to that 20th anniversary for the play scale. That was immaculate.
Yeah. I do worry for the people that are real excited about the minifigures from the UCS and what that situation is going to turn into. But I don't know.
For me, you know, just to ride on this simple man hype. For those who don't know, I'm planning another really long stream, like I did with the 24, but you know, in Austiff fashion. I look for the next hard thing, so we're doubling to 24 hours.
No way.
And I'm gonna stay up through it all. And you know, for it being the best set of my life, you know, I feel bad for the folks, you know, because it's right in time for Brick World. It's a, you know, it's a $300 set. You know, it's not cheap. And you know, I have the GCC boba that I think's immaculate. I love it, the complete bits. You know, I have the figs that make that complement a great set, and I don't like the figs from what we've seen. So what I'm gonna do, I know, like I was talking to Sean about this. He goes, "Dude, that's so contradicted to like what you're trying to do, but it shows how generous of a person you are." And I'm like, Sean, it's kind of the mirror opposite, because you know it kind of goes along with like my views in Lego collecting. It's like I have what I need. I don't want anything else that I don't. So if I don't like these figs, and I feel so bad for people who didn't make the Simple Man drop. So I have partnered with the local hospital here, like Children's Hospital, and I'm gonna give the figs away from that set as like a giveaway.
Cool.
Is, you know, because I have the Simple Man, I have the Young Boba from GCC. You know, they are immaculate. Like why do I need, you know, and it's going to be a set that's going to be on shelves for the next 2 years. I can just go on Bricklink and buy the figs again if I wanted to, if I need that completionist aspect. But I feel like it'd be a way to, you know, for everyone that has come out and supported me, you know, going on my own and trying to make my own little way in this galaxy as a simple man, you know, I can give the people who missed out on the Melnick one a chance to have a somewhat good Django. That's something I want to do. I want someone to have the experience I have building the set.
That's great. That's a real classy move. I love that.
It's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm a very giving person. It's like when I was, you know, a few summers ago, I was working for my local radio station as like a part-time gig. There was like one girl, she like vomited all over herself. And, you know, I was like handing out goodies or whatever. I'm like, here. I just literally took off my shirt and just gave it to her. I'm like, you clearly need my shirt more than I do. Like, it's 102 degrees. You should not be walking around in a vomity t-shirt. That's just not.
Ooh, smelly.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's like,
well, and in theory, hopefully that all comes back around. And, you know,
if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, no good deed is truly a good deed if you're relying on it
to
come back.
I mean, I'm like, you know what? If it comes back, it comes back. If it don't, it don't. Doesn't make two differences to me. Because, you know, it kind of stems to my dad. You know, the very first time I saw like an act of kindness was, you know, there's a homeless man camped outside of our Wendy's, you know, and we didn't have the most money growing up in any form. And it was right around Christmas too. And we went in there and my dad just loaded up like a $800 gift card to Wendy's so he could have food for the whole year.
Wow.
And he goes, sorry, that's your guys' Christmas money, but it pays to be a good person. And so is that, you know, there's a few times that happened, you know, I wasn't angry because it's like, I saw what good that did. You know, and it's like, man, we're all humans. We should all treat each other. And so, you know, it's like, man, and that's why I gravitate towards jiu-jitsu, because it's very much that same mentality. It's like you get in, you get what you put into it, and no one there is there to make you feel bad about yourself or that your skill isn't where it should be. You know, I still get submitted by a 12-year-old. I'm like, who the hell is this Jackie Chan? Is this his fucking kid? You know, I'm like, what just happened? But that same kid was like, here's where you went wrong. Now let's try it again. I don't know. It's a great sport. For those who've never tried it, go do a 3-day pass for like $70 wherever. If you don't like it, I will flip the bill because I guarantee you'll love it.
I think my body would fall apart.
You'll be surprised. Ken, we got some 70-year-olds that roll with us.
Wow.
And
good for them.
I always feel scared that I'm going to break them, but they end up breaking me instead. That's all I got to say. That's the one sport where you will like tap out 3,000 times in a single hour. You know?
Jeez. Moves that fast?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
crazy.
You'll be in another man's armpit and with your head outside your ankle somehow in the same contorted shape. This is uncomfortable. It's like you'll realize if what's that TV show? It's like, this is where he realized he fucked up. It's just that on repeat. You know, like, I'll catch myself like, oh, I'm doing really good this round, and then I'll make one move like, oh, I really messed up. And then it's like I'll be making a move like, yeah, this is a mess up, but I just keep going anyway. But that's with anything in life. The more you fail, the better you get.
Yeah. How often do you do that?
I try and go 6 to 7 times a week.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 times in a day.
Jeez.
Laundry machine gets a lot of use.
Yeah, I guess so.
But it's a good time.
Man. So do you also go to the gym?
Yep.
Or is that, yeah, okay.
No, yeah, I go to jiu-jitsu, and then I go immediately after there. I'll go train with weight.
Wow.
And shout out, I saw Pocket Master. He's here in the chat. He's actually kind of guiding me. For people who don't know, he is a runner. And he's probably like one of my favorite people I met at Brick World. Him and I got along just fine and well. He's actually gonna be in the room this year, but he's kind of like coaching me along to run a marathon this year. So.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, in September.
Wow.
So it's like, always wanted to do it. Looks hard, so sign me up.
Beautiful. So have you already started training for it?
Here and there.
Oh.
Not nowhere near as much as I should. But I'm just going to rely on that Army grit when I get there, but just do it. Because I saw my cousin Taylor, he ran it, no practice whatsoever. Sure didn't have the best time, but he did it. It's like...
Yeah. Well, I guess the whole goal with your first one is just to complete it. It's not like you're going to win, right?
No,
that's
I just want to do
the mission there. Yeah.
It's like, if I could, I would go on the moon just to be, so this is what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like, for all I care, I want to die on Mars, just to say I was the first person to die on Mars.
Well, it's a 6-month trip. Like, I don't know.
Light work. Yeah. Give me enough pieces to build a simple apartment, and maybe I'll have it done.
Yeah. Thinking of running, did you see Shy?
Yeah.
Ran a marathon, like a half marathon and a 5K or something.
Yeah, and I was like
all packed in there.
I was so happy for him, but at the same time, like, darn it, he stole my post for September. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, big congratulations to him, to Shy. He is very much, he's someone I'd like to be in 5 years. It's, talk about Shy. That man is so humble and selfless. Like, when I bought this microphone, whatever, I had no idea how to set it up. I'm like, he was really good with tech. So I shot Shy a DM. He goes, yeah, you're going to do this, this, and this. And it wasn't working. He goes, oh, also, like, if I take forever to, like, reply, it's because, we're evacuating right now as wildfires. And in my head, I didn't even realize he was in California. I was just like, I'm like, dude, go do that. Like, this is not me. He goes, no, I said, I'll help you. And I'm like, this man was literally, like, in Death Alley. And I was like, I'm still going to help someone. Like, I just can't wait to give Shy a hug this year. I mean, meeting Shy at Brickworld was great. We had a few drinks, talked about, like, swapped cool military stories. I gave him some of my patches from the Army because, the Marine Corps, they don't, wear unit crests or whatever, or we do. And he goes, dude, these are sick. Where it's usually like, oh, your Army, you're weak. There's none of that with Shy. He's very much like well, that's the banter in the military, is that, like, sibling rivalry, like, who's better. But I think it's a bunch of nonsense because we're all fighting for the same team.
Yep.
But you need that banter to keep things alive and stiff.
You keep it a little spicy, keep you going.
Yeah, anytime a Marine says, oh, you guys, like, you know what? The Army has the largest amphibious assault in history. And then we're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then, we finished our job in Germany and everything, and then we went to go help out the Marines in Japan after we were done. That's it. Just wanted to do that. They're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, reckon you guys had the battle all cleaned up. We just came to help you remove everything, get you guys back home. Yeah. Well, if Nate's still watching, I love you. No bad blood. Just don't get us lost on an Ewok hunt again. That's not a good time.
An Ewok hunt?
Have you played Battlefront 2?
No. I haven't played a video game since Crash Bandicoot.
Ken, we're ordering you an Xbox, and we're making you play Battlefront 2. That's my gift to you.
So what is the appeal of that?
So Ewok hunt, it's very much like it's like a game mode or game type inside the game. It's basically lights are completely out, and you're stuck in the forest of Endor as a stormtrooper, and you just have all these Ewoks coming after you. It's absolutely terrifying because you can't see them, and you just get like little poop nuggets swung at you or beaten with a stick, and it's like, oh, where are they? You know, you're like,
Ah,
it's
that's
such a
cool.
good time. Like, you know, if you're a few beers deep playing that game, yeah, you're whatever night you're on is about to get fucked up by some Ewoks. Hive would rip that to shreds. You know,
Oh, that's funny.
it's just it's a good laugh. Would love to get Pockets Master in there. I don't think he's a video gamer all that much.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I don't even know where I would find the time to play.
Let's cancel the show 1 week. I'm joking. No, I wouldn't do
Yeah, I
that
mean,
too.
and then if I get it, then I can't have the system and not let my kids play, and then they're playing video games. We've
Then it's
avoided that so
nonstop.
far.
And then they'll get arthritis in their thumbs by the time they hit 20.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. I'm from the generation of the original NES, so
Oh yeah,
yeah.
great system. I still have mine.
Oh yeah,
I was playing it earlier this morning. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I
It,
think that's the Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
oh, the best days.
Such a
Everything was easy then too. You get two buttons to choose from. That's all.
beep 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 beep. Ones are forward and back, and then well, you'd have like 4 buttons because you have forward, back, like
Well,
your
yeah, I mean, but I mean, you get whatever it is, A and B for your right thumb, and then
yeah.
the corrections for the left.
Now you got like all sorts of little buttons.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Don't controllers have some kind of like flipper thing in the back or something now too?
Some of them do. Mine doesn't. I just I mainly play like story games, like Elder Scrolls or whatever, because I don't know. I like making my own story as I go. You know,
So is that like a walking around kind of thing?
yeah, like it
Okay.
is. Like for me, this is gonna sound really dorky, but I have a whole notebook. Like when I start a new character, I go to my local Dollar Tree. I will go buy a little notepad, and I'll come at home really excited to play the game. And I don't play the game for like a week because I'm going to create my character's story. Like this is how he's going to be, and I just do that. And then I just go into the game, and I'm like, oh, this is about to sound really weird. Like I'll have my microphone, and I'll like talk into it, like as if I'm that character. Like, it's a fun time.
That's
But
awesome. So when you write these stories, do,
mhm.
you write the story and then you actually play them out? That's
Yep.
how that works.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's fun. How
Makes
does the game know? You actually tell the game what your story is?
so like take for example like the biggest game from the Elder Scrolls franchise would be Skyrim. Uh,
Okay.
Basically, you know, you make choices along the way, like when you talk to people or people you choose to side with. Like, I'm an Imperial boy till the day I die, like 40 Empire, 40 Emperor type thing. You know, hence why I like the Empire so much in Star Wars is because of that.
Mm.
Like, everyone thinks my favorite faction is like the Republic, but it's actually the Empire. Just like the grit they have, and especially seeing them in Andor, they're ruthless, and I love it. It's like, oh, you want freedom? No, I'm joking. No, I mean it only in like non-real life things. Yeah, but real life, if you want freedom, hit me up. I'll get you to America ASAP. But yeah, so I'll just like as you go through the game, like the choices you make kind of dictate how that story goes. Like you can side with the rebels or the Empire, uh, or if you're going to following your quest to be Dragonborn. Do you kill Parthenax or do you not? That all adds to how your game will. Your game never really actually ends. It always keeps
Wow,
going for as long as you want that character to go.
that's great.
Like I'll start to lose interest with the character after like 500 hours of playing as that character, and then I'll be like, okay, time to make a new, and then the cycle starts over. But that's kind of what happens when you don't have a installment from a game franchise release in over 10 years.
Wow.
Like, we're probably not going to get the next installment, following Skyrim, that came out in 2011, probably till like 2029.
Jesus, why so long?
That's Bethesda's little. That's their trademark. It'll take forever to make a game. They're going to make the games that you don't want. They'll make it. And be like, okay, now we're going to actually do this. Starfield, the game no one asked for. Garbage.
Is that the kind of thing where they give you some kind of updates as time goes on, or is
I wish, like Skyrim, we only got 3 updates, and that was only in the year after it released. And since then, there's been nothing.
Wow.
Other than like what people will make their own stuff, like a mod to put into the game. So if it weren't for like the people who mod, yeah, Skyrim would be completely dead. Because they make the game so much. But also, that's the thing with Bethesda is, with every success, they look, how can we take this bigger? They don't sit in content for long. I guess that's why I like them so much. I align with how they do things. It's like, okay, I did this. How can I make it better and bigger? Or in like mentality, what's the next hard thing?
Okay, so when you say bigger, do you mean like world building bigger?
Yeah, say for example, Oblivion, this big, reckon still big. Skyrim was like this big, and now whatever's coming next, it's going to be. I'm short. I don't have that wingspan, but you get the point. It's going to be. She's going to be big. She's going to be girthy.
Wow. Girthy. It's so. It continues to amaze me how Sean has changed like the entire lexicon.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
And everybody who hears it, at least a couple words just stick forever. And
yeah,
he is. God, I don't even know. He is the ultimate ringmaster.
Yeah. I told Sean this several times. Like, was in my dad over. I'm like, Sean, you are now like my new dad. I will go to him for like stupid questions, and he'll always answer. It's like, whoa.
He's got a lot of like P.T. Barnum in him, but without being a crook. Like,
yeah. He's able to do it truthful.
Yeah. I mean that in the most complimentary way.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because the business mind is clearly there.
Yeah, he's always going for the next thing.
Yeah, but without that, I don't think you get the full ACOB package the way it is.
No,
he doesn't have that mind. Yeah.
He's always. I feel like Sean. Brent is ACOB, and Sean is the part of ACOB that keeps it together.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying there.
They both keep it together. You can't have ACOB without either.
Yep.
It's like.
That's why Figonomics is not an ACOB show as such.
Yeah. Like, it has the vibe, but not the full vibe.
Yeah.
It's a nice taster to lead up to Thursday Night Delight.
Yeah, it's my whole week gets screwed up when there's a Tuesday night because I get the notification.
Yeah, and you're like, is it Thursday?
It messes me all up because Tuesday nights are usually where I'm trying to do thumbnails and work on other things and whatever.
I have to say, I was very impressed with the like animation you did for this show, like the Oh, that's clean.
The 2 balls there. So I started playing around with Canva finally.
Okay.
And I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Do we? Any of us though?
No. I might as well be like boomer level out of touch with a lot of this stuff.
I'm the same way.
So it's I also use ChatGPT to coach me through damn near everything.
I have it as like in my phone, like let's see. In the bottom, oh, you can see Lex Fridman on my wall.
Yeah, there he is.
But oh
That's
shoot.
funny. Yeah.
Well, you can see like instead of having the camera there, I have the Chat GPT stuff. I just goes right to it.
Smart.
I don't think I could live without it. Now that I have it, it's like this is bad.
Yeah, it's the future though, I suppose.
You gotta embrace it.
Yeah,
Gotta embrace it.
Chat GPT actually has a custom GPT specifically for Canva, and it's real easy to use.
Really?
Yeah, you can basically tell it what you want, and then it'll figure it out, and it'll open Canva for you.
Oh, so it's using the same generator. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah, I mean it's still like anything else. It's only as good as the prompts you can give it.
Yeah.
So I mean, speaking purely for myself, it still takes a lot of work once I get it.
Once you know its native language, it gets a lot easier.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we'll see where that goes. I like things that move.
Yeah. I try to make things that move, and I'm like, I like it when they stay still because I don't like putting all that work into it.
Yep.
Because I just get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, the real trick is knowing when to stop. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Because it's like okay, well,
keep going.
Yeah, I added this one little bit of flair. That's probably enough. But if I just click 9 more buttons, it does 9 more.
It goes bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, and now it's annoying everybody who looks at it, and they're just swiping past.
Like, bro, are you like oversized? Like, are you sizing up, making up for size or something? It's like, shush it.
It's like, no, it's just a new toy, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that's like when you get that new RC car as a kid. You just want to keep playing, see how far you can push its boundaries.
Yeah, what can you jump it off of before a wheel finally breaks off?
Yep, and it's usually a half pipe.
Yep. Yeah, or the roof of the shed or something.
Yeah, that one's not a good time.
That one.
No. I got a good spanking for that.
Yeah.
I did it off of our garage roof, and it was like perfect timing. I was home alone, and my dad pulled in. You know, his car like stopped right there as my little RC car went poof, poof, right into his windshield.
No. Oh,
yeah, couldn't make it up.
Oh.
Yeah, I was in a lot of trouble for that.
Was the car okay?
The windshield got cracked, but
oh no.
I mean, it was a big roof. It was like a 2-story garage. And went, poof, poof.
Oh man.
And I'm like, whoops. Sorry, Dad. I'm a kid.
Yeah. Well, you learned the lesson, I would assume.
Yeah, and I never got an RC car after that.
Oh man.
My RC car.
Theoretically, you could buy one yourself.
Yeah, but I can't put it through a windshield again. So what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
Well, you could put it through your own now.
Yeah, that's not as fun because I have to pay for it.
Yeah, those things are expensive too. What was that last one? $250, I think.
Good golly.
Yeah.
That's a whole UCS tie interceptor.
Yeah. Speaking of the UCS sets, is there actually 3? What's your take on that?
I think there'll be 3.
Yeah.
Just because they know there's 2 reasons why I think. Reason 1 being they know that the UCS Death Star is not going to be affordable to the masses. And they want to still have sales for the people who won't get it. So, you know, with the whole ATST or whatever rumor that is, I think they're going to do that. And the reason why they're doing the Django is, you know, they're going to put, because the Venator didn't sell well as a UCS set. Being blatantly honest. I mean, in comparison to the other sets, like it still sold well, but not as well as the others. So I think they're going to do is they have the prequel, you know, at the same price point, and the OT at the same price point. So they're going to use those to gauge the market's interest, and whoever wins that's going to be the deciding factor going forward. Instead of like, it's like you said, at the end of the day, it's a business, so they have to figure out, okay, if we keep making this, it still has to be a sustainable profit. I think that's what it's doing. But I like the fact there's going to be 3 because I can barely pay my rent half the time. Yeah, let me go buy a set that's more expensive than my rent. That's a hard, like, do I not eat this month? Do I be homeless this month? Or do I get a Lego set? And it's very much that thing. So it's like, I'm very glad because my favorite set is in a cheaper UCS price point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I could buy 3 Jango Fett Slaves 1 for the price of a Death Star. It's probably going to be mediocre. So it's like, I don't care how many figs you put in it. I ain't buying it. Unless it goes on a deep disky.
Well, if Barnes & Noble was to carry it, you'd be able to get it for $7.50, which is a pretty good discount.
Yeah.
Because you should never shop at Barnes & Noble and not get 25% off.
Ken, I don't hear what you're saying. Are you trying to say the Nobes?
Yes.
Nobes. There we go.
Yeah. Nobes should always be 25% off, basically without exception.
Yeah.
Because you can build your own discount, and it's simple.
Yeah.
And I personally, I don't know if there'll ever be a set that is a mandatory day one buy for me.
The only one that will ever be is Jango Fett Slave. I've never bought a UCS set before. This will be my first and probably my last.
Yeah, I don't understand where you could just wait a little bit and get a discount. Yeah. Now, with that one, I mean, if that's the set for you, okay, I get it.
I want the experience.
Especially with the Star Wars stuff that they've released. It's like, I don't know, every 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Wait 3 months, it'll be 20% off somewhere.
Yeah, or 30 or 40. Amazon, you can see it dirt cheap in like 6 months.
Yep. Yeah. Walmart clearance.
Yep.
Fairly regular thing.
Clearance season. We're getting close to it. It's almost clearance season.
Yeah. I mean, we're finding a ton of clearance now.
Yep. Once June hits.
So, yeah.
Like all the Walms and Targs and stuff that I pass on my way for Brick World, stop them. Because I'm going to be there so much earlier than everyone else. Why not? Get some good diskies in the cart.
And then just bring them to Brick World and sell them all.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
You're reading my mind. Now, no one else copy me.
Yeah. Well, you'll be there early enough. You can buy them out and nobody will have the option.
I like your thinking here, Ken. I like your thinking, Ken, with a double N.
Yeah, and you're a charitable guy, so you can part them out, sell all the minifigures, and donate the bricks.
Yeah, we could do that. Because I
tax deduction.
If I was toying around with the thought, as a disclaimer, not 100% happening. It's 50-50. Could or could not happen. But by this time the set releases, I know I'm a very small channel to be able to even do this, but I don't care. Like, I've said it numerous times, and I will continue to say it till the day I stop. Who knows when that'll be. I do not care about like count, view count, sub count. That's like, sure, it's interesting to like see, but it's not why I do it. It's like, oh, cool. 140 people enjoy, or now it's like 190 people enjoy watching me goof around with random, like with my friends or random to them for 6+ hours on a given Monday night. Like, that's cool and all, but what I want to do is if I have enough funds saved for Brick World by then, reckon with all the stuff I'm paying off with the bullcrap that happened here, I don't want to really go into that too in depth. Like, if you know, I believe Ken.
A little bit.
Yeah, there was some Breaking Bad that happened next door, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. I have to get a new car because my insurance won't cover it because it was so it's like And I was really mad because I just bought that car like 2 weeks prior to all this.
Oh, it was that close.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm like, so look, at my insurance is going to do like a 80% payout on like what the car was left on. So, I mean, still like $9,000 I still have to pay back, and then like I could use it as like negative equity on a new car, but it's like I don't want to do that. I'd rather, clean slate, adult talk, fun stuff. But yeah, I would love, like really love, to give away a sealed UCS Jango Fett Slave one during that live stream. If I can swing it, I'll do it.
That's a hell of a giveaway.
It's like I said, I will only get this chance for the best set of my life once, and it's I want to be able to give back to like people who have inspired me to do this, the people who allow me to keep going, and the people who decide to donate their time to watch my silly show on this corner of the internet. It's like, and for putting up with me saying simple man 50 times in a stream. If you're able to tolerate that, you deserve one. It's very much that. So, because I'll say this publicly, with the hospital I'm partnered with. So when I go to the Lego store anyway, no matter what, it's going to be a $600 visit because I'm getting $300 worth of smaller Lego sets to donate to the hospital for, so hopefully most of the kids there can get a little something.
Wow.
Because,
great.
Like for those who don't know, I was in a hospital that specialized in children, like childhood cancer. And so I would go there and I would draw blood, do all that fun stuff. And, you see, it's like, wow, here I am complaining about really stupid stuff while these kids are literally fighting for their lives and they're only like 6 years old. It puts everything into a perspective. And it's like, if I can give them one thing to take their mind off of having a terrible illness, even if it's for like 2 seconds, then that's all I want. Because it's like, I want them to be able to experience happiness in a terrible situation. Because I feel like it's very, very tough to do. And it's something near and dear to me. And, losing my dad to cancer, and, it's like, got to do something. At least in his memorial, because it's something he would do. You would, if like paycheck was good that month, he would go to Walmart and buy all sorts of toys and drop them off at like a orphanage or, that's a occurring theme with my dad. He was very generous. If he had money to give, he would give it. Even if it meant like him just eating canned meat, that was just how he was. He was a very simple man, like completely, like no joke intended. He was very simple. If he had a Bud Light and a can of Vienna sausages, he was happy. That's all he needed. That's all. Rough diet, but
yeah, it's man. I can almost taste that thinking about it. Hey, we'll get our things, right?
The backwater residue off those little sausages he'd wipe down with a terrible beer.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Fantastic. No. Well, I mean, it's better than sardines, right?
Oh, you'd eat those too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would like just be in the middle of like, he'd keep them in his like center console in his car, like 6 of them. We'd just be driving, you just hear, and he just eat them. I'm like, fantastic. That is nasty.
Wow.
Like, there was nothing he would not eat. Like,
that's a legendary snack.
Yeah. I don't have the guts to do that. Yeah. If it raw, I ain't touching it.
Yeah. I mean, I like tuna fish. That makes sense to me.
No, can't even do tuna. No. Wow. Can't tell you how many times I got the tuna MRE when I was in the service, and I just gave it to someone. I'm like, I'm not eating. I am yeah, I'm starving, but not for that. I'll be fine with the little freeze-dried cranberries they give you.
Yeah. So do you have issues with smells? The
No,
smell can make or break something for you? No?
no.
Because I forget somewhere at some point you said that you don't drink coffee because you hate the smell of it, if I remember right.
Oh, me, yeah. It just smells like diarrhea.
That's so crazy.
No, that
Like I would never associate the two.
it's once you make the comparison, it's unforgettable.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I drink a lot of coffee. I only drink iced coffee, and
Hmm.
I don't eat candy. So when I
Hmm.
drink an iced coffee, I my coffee tastes like candy, more or less.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you don't really get that smell. It's iced. It's usually caramel.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes the diarrhea scent go away right just like that. It's like
Yeah.
Febreze,
Yeah.
but no crosswalk.
Although, yeah.
Oh, this has just gone down a
Yeah.
sloppy rabbit hole.
So Dave Attell is probably my favorite comedian, and
Okay.
he had a bit about combining smells. He's like, two of my favorite smells are whiskey and cotton candy. But you don't combine whiskey and cotton candy because it smells like somebody just had sex with a clown. It's like, yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, those two have been ruined for me now.
yep, yeah.
Mm.
Whiskey's still good. I can't eat cotton candy though.
I don't think I've ever had whiskey in my entire life.
No,
Mm.
there's it's one of those
I
things that it's good or it's bad, and I, there's plenty of other options out there, so it's not really necessary anyway.
I'm also like one of those people where I gave up liquor, other than like shots with like group of friends or whatever, like a good thing because I notice my mind goes in really bad dark places if I consume liquor alone. So I just like yeah, scratch. But when I did, I was a big fan of like filling a glass half full with just straight vodka, and
Wow.
don't know if it's the DNA, but it's like water. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know if you gave me vodka now, I could probably drink it without even flinching. It's just like that's my go-to.
So do you still feel that you're good to drink socially?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
as long as I know like a good crowd of people.
Yeah. So
Just
Brick World, you'll be all right.
oh yeah,
Still, yeah.
100%.
I don't know about those Coors lattes, so that might be
Whew,
hey,
those
thanks,
are shout out to I know I got them here. Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
with the
yep,
Austiff distribution on the bottom. I remember Cody. It was like in August. He sent me a picture of it. I'm like, dude, that goes so hard. He was like, okay, I need to get your like permission to use your name. I'm like, you have my permission for everything, and I mean everything.
yeah. Whoever says no,
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're putting me into an ACOB set. Yeah, like, what do you think? I'm gonna be like, nah. Like,
yeah,
Cody, sir, silliness, silly talk.
yeah. Cool Hand had mentioned this a couple weeks ago when he was on with us. It's like anybody he's ever asked to be on a
Mm-hmm.
show has said yes,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, why would anybody ever say no? I mean, scheduling conflicts, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. I understand. It's we all have lives to live,
Yeah.
but why would anybody say no?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I don't want to hang with a bunch of new people, or no, I'm too good for you. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
There's
None of
one.
us are too good for anything. We're all just people.
Yeah, we're all a grown adult that enjoys playing with plastic on a given night where we could be doing more adult things,
Yeah,
like saving money for more adult items rather than, like me. I should probably be saving for a house one day, but Lego's where it's at, baby.
yeah. Build a house out of Lego. You'll be all right.
Hasn't someone done that?
Yeah, I think so.
That would take
Yeah,
ages.
Yeah, I don't have that level of patience.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I could probably count them looking around. I think I only own like 10, 15 sets or something. I mean, we have a lot of Lego in the house,
Yeah.
but I, I don't need to keep a lot.
Mm.
I like the idea of, we can build sets and we can sell them used.
Yeah.
And then we can build and we can build and just build forever. And
It just
we
pays
don't
for
have to keep
itself.
any of it. Yeah. And it's fun. And if something like extra special comes along, we can keep that.
Yeah.
But the building is the part of the hobby that
Gets
I
you
like.
every time. Yeah.
I also like just counting and separating. I really enjoy sorting, which is obnoxious. But
No, I like it too.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I would almost rather sort than build sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
which is
I
great.
think
That's how I watch half of the live streams.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'll count my sets right now, like non-sealed that are in this closet over here, but actually like display. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 sets.
Yeah.
And those I will not get rid of.
Yeah, it's even if I wanted more, I couldn't have them because I have so many loose bricks at this point.
I know. I need your. So you're in Boston in June, right? Or you're leaving Boston in June.
Yeah, leaving Boston in June.
So that gives me a few days to come give you a visit while you're not home.
And then if you want to try to get it out of here, good luck to you. I'm moving in July anyway, so the timing would be good.
I hope you have your home insurance claim ready.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Just don't rat me out.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. I can delete this recording real quick for you.
Our FBI surveillance agent that's tied to both of us right now is probably like, yeah, he's probably asleep anyway. Listening to grown men talk about Lego.
Yeah. Well, actually, my request would be you do it sooner than that.
Oh.
Because right now we only have like half of this column listed on Bricklink. We have 19 more to list.
Oh my heavens.
So just take it off our hands now before we have to count all of that and then lose it.
Yeah, just take a little vacation real quick and leave the key underneath the doormat.
Yeah. My wife has added 90% of everything on Bricklink so far. God bless her for that. So
that is a
long road.
Yeah, I don't think I could find someone to do that.
Yeah.
Even if I paid them. That's
Well, if you could pay him, it would probably happen faster. But
depending.
I mean, she's also juggling 2 kids. So
that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah, it's my 2 kids have full access to all of this.
That's cute.
Yeah. And thankfully, they're pretty good about not just dumping drawers at random.
That's good. They go into each bin and pull what they want.
No, I mean, they pretty much just ignore them. My little one, these have been around her entire life. And my oldest, I don't know, since she was 3 or 4. So she grew up with it. She pretty much knows how to handle it. She's got her own Lego.
Oh, that's nice.
If she ever asks for anything, she's welcome to it. I would just prefer to be the one that removes it from the drawers myself.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Like, give me a little sheet of what you want. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so great when she pops open a case of minifigures. Like, Dad, look what I built. And it's like, oh, no. That
I can't sell as new.
$12.
Yeah.
That's sad. I mean, whatever.
That's part of being there for the grown up.
Yep. Yeah, and when she moves on for a set, I just go and sell all the minifigures on her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they're Minecraft, they're disposable as far as I'm concerned.
So, Ken, you very much live a life that a lot of us would want.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about all that. I mean, so we have probably around 250,000 pieces in the house, and at any given point in time, we'll have, I don't know, up to 500 sealed sets inside the house because we do some investing and whatnot as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we have no room to breathe. I mean, there's four of us in here, and we're at whatever 850 square feet. We do our sorting in the kitchen.
Eat and sort. What better of a life could you ask?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's out of control.
I'm coming from the standpoint like you're a very, very blessed man. I mean, you get to have your Lego. You get to have a wife and kids. What else could you ask? You got your health.
Yeah.
Seems like you're living a good life, sir.
Yeah.
Very much an example for a lot of us to strive for.
And we're doing all right. I mean, we're trying to make the Lego business a business.
Yeah.
And have it be a real thing, and we're going a million different angles with it because
see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, well, and none of it is going to be profitable enough on its own.
Mm.
It needs to carry four people, right?
Yeah, needs supplement.
Yep. And it's YouTube is never going to pay more than 35 cents. There's never any expectation
for that. Do you know how much I'm making from YouTube right now?
Yep, same amount as me.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here, right?
Yeah. Yep. We're in the free content club, I guess you could say.
Yep. Yep.
Which I like. I can't remember who I was talking to, and they're like, so Austin, like anytime you get close to 1,000, are you just gonna make a new channel? I'm like, chances are likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come?
Can you turn off monetization?
Oh yeah.
Oh then, never mind. I'll just turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah, you could turn it off. You don't even have to give them any of your information. So
cool.
They can just not pay you. Yeah.
That's what I'll do. Because I don't know. Like, I bet once you get started, like once you start getting paid for your hobby, it starts to take away from it being a hobby. Like, I learned that with working at Bricks and Minifigs. I was like, I'm not enjoying my hobby anymore. And that's when I'm like, I got a boogie. You got to get a Kleenex and put a boogie in it. See ya.
Yeah, see, I'm just the opposite there. I have zero hobbies. Like what I do during the day and what I do at night are the two things that would be my hobby.
Yeah.
But because I get paid for them, they're not hobbies anymore. They're jobs.
That's valid. Like for me, I guess Lego isn't so much a hobby as it is a way for me to connect with my friends. It's like the group hangout that you go and do. But like, I guess my hobby would be jujitsu. But also I'm starting to do it at a lot, like a higher competition level. So it's no longer just meeting up with my friends on the mats on Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, whatever day of the week. It's like when I'm there, it's either I'm learning to win. I'm not there to have fun. I'm there to make. I am going to destroy you. Mindset. Like, it's like, when I go to do these competitions, like, reckon with everything that happened here, I can't go compete at Chicago anymore. And then I had a hand injury that kind of like played into it where, I still have numbness in this hand when I grip, whatever. I'm still trying to get that back. But the register for that's like $600.
Jeez.
And that doesn't count for your hotel, your food, and your gi. Whenever you go and compete like that, you need a competition regulated gi. And those are usually a little bit more expensive because they can charge that premium. Because only certain brands are allowed to make it, like being like Fuji Sports, Shoyo Roll, Sanubo or Sanabu, whatever how you pronounce it. It's like that. So yeah, it used to be a big hobby, but now it's kind of become, if I, in a perfect world, I would love to make that my career.
Really?
Yeah, I will.
That's cool.
It's like I'm not the best at it. I'm very far from. I'm only a purple belt. I'm only halfway through. Um, but there's something to be said about people who stick past the white and stick at blue. You know, you know, there's 5 belts, but each belt has like 4 grades to it. So you have to earn that belt 4 times before you move on to the next one.
That's crazy.
Like the average time span for someone to be a white belt and earn their black belt is almost 18 years.
Jeez.
Of being in that sport. So
investment.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, and you're really putting in a lot to it. It's not like you show up once a week, like okay, type thing. It's you show up constantly. You get the, excuse my French, but the shit beat out of you or choked out of you, submitted, whatever it is, repetitively throughout like 500 times that week for years. It's like you were saying your favorite episode or your favorite guest has been Lex Fridman. Like mine is John Danaher. He's trained the world's best, like jiu-jitsu practitioners, MMA fighters, UFC. He's trained them all, and he runs a course where he will train you for a week, but it's like $50,000, and it's like
Ooh, spicy.
I would love to learn from him. Like if I can somehow swing it one day, I'm doing it. Like without it, because he is one of the greatest to ever touch this sport, and just I don't know. I feel like he would, even if you like one of the best black belts in the world, if you went and trained with him, he would make you unlearn everything, and you learn a John Danaher way. And it's like, and he has such like a thick Russian accent too, where it's like,
perfect.
This man's gonna destroy my life if I don't follow what he says. Well, I don't know how I got to this point. I apologize and I digress.
So you must have heard of Jocko Willink at some point.
I like Jocko. Yeah, he's a bit.
All right.
He's a bit too mainstream for me, but I like him.
He's an interesting character. I love his stories, and the various ways he gives his messages about discipline.
Yeah,
I've always thought that was great. The business leadership aspect, and he's another one of those guys, like Lex in a lot of interviews. I shouldn't say a lot. There's not a lot that do it that well, but they only ask questions if they want the answer, and they ask them framed in a way that they're going to get the answer to the question they're looking for.
Yeah, not outside. It's direct, streamlined.
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, very difficult. And how I'd like to sit and have a chat with him and be like, how do you do this, sir?
Yeah.
Then he'd be like, so you got to wake up at 2:59 in the morning. You got to take a picture of your watch.
Yeah, post it to Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. The morning, 4 a.m. What are you doing? Are you sleeping? The classic. He does the, oh, shucks. I almost knocked out my entire camera or whatever. He just does the, and it has like a body of ocean. He's like, I'm going out for my 15-mile swim. I'll be back in 20 minutes. It's like, sure, brother.
Yeah. And then there'll be like a picture of like a half wet kettlebell side.
Or his t-shirt just being wrung out, thrown on the ground. It's like, this man's sweat just is excellence. It's like, this man is, we'll never reach his level.
He actually grew up, I guess I could put it that way. He started off in the same music scene I did here, just
really?
like half a generation before me.
Really?
Yeah. I remember when I first found out about him, I saw a picture of him and Jamie Joster from Hatebreed on
Okay,
Twitter feed, and I'm like, wait a minute, I used to play video games with Jamie 30 years ago or something.
that's cool.
Oh yeah, there were a couple times we were actually at the same show.
Mm.
Didn't know each other, wouldn't have anything to say to the guy now,
Yeah.
but just I always forget that he's from here.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
strange.
it's like one of those things too. Like for me, where I always think to myself, like, "Whoa, Tom Cruise could have been my stepdad."
Well, that's wild.
I know, because my dad and Katie Holmes dated all through high school.
No kid.
Yeah, Toledo, Ohio, and I'm like, my dad married and divorced her. I could be very rich. That's it's not. It's like, you know how many simple mans I could buy, but it's more of like, whoa, forget Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise, he could be my stepdad. Like, yo,
Wow.
only like the greatest action actor of that genre of our lifetime. Like, it was funny. I always ask my dad, why did you guys break up? Because, well, she didn't like that. So him and his friends back in day, instead of like their windshield washer fluid, they would fill it up with like really cheap whiskey, and they would have like as a hose coming into the car, and they would just like refill their drinks. And she didn't like that, so senior prom they broke up because of it.
Oh, that's lame.
It's like,
Wait a minute. Okay, so they dated in high school.
Yeah.
And Jesus, man, you really are young, because I'm pretty sure I'm right around Katie Holmes' age, give or take a couple of years.
yeah, it's how. Let's see how old she is. Let me pull it up. Because my dad was 51 when he passed. Oh, is my keyboard dead? Katie Holmes. Yeah, so she would have been a sophomore when my dad was a senior.
So, okay, so that puts her, what, 49?
47.
47. Okay, so she's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, and one thing I also have to keep in mind is my dad was a little bit more behind in school, because when he moved to America, he started as like a, because he didn't speak English, so he was set back a little bit further than everyone, so he's in a different little crowd. But still, I'm like, Dad, love mom to bits. Won't let anyone else be my mom, but you follow the bag by Katie Holmes, and look where she's at now. Like,
Oh, man.
I feel like he'd really be, at some point, he's like, what if it was different? Just the 2 a.m. thoughts. Yeah. But now
That's so funny.
it's just like small world.
Wow. Katie, I hadn't heard that name in a while. What is she? Is she still acting?
Let's see.
I feel like I haven't seen her.
Oh, she does Broadway stuff now.
Okay.
That's usually where they go to end their career.
Yep.
Once they leave movies and TV shows. Her last movie she was in was Logan Lucky in 2017.
And that's why her career ended.
Yep.
I have no idea what that movie is, but
It was okay.
yeah.
I only watched it because it had Daniel Craig in it.
Daniel Craig. Oh, okay. Yep.
That's the only reason why I watched it.
He was, what was he, the fifth 007?
I think the 6th.
Yeah.
See, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, so 6.
Wow.
Wow, look at
That's
that.
great.
I'm shocked I was able to answer that.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Gonna toot my own horn. Boop, boop.
So I'm assuming because you can name them all off like that, you're a decent James Bond fan?
Love James Bond.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm always gonna say Roger Moore is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just enough comedy and just enough action.
Yeah. And he may have had the best collection of villains too.
Yep. And he was the only Bond to wear an American-made watch.
Really?
Yep. He wore the Hamilton animatronic or something. Whatever, animatron. It's like the digital screen.
Okay.
It's made in Pennsylvania. Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So nearby too.
Yep. And that's actually the town my cousin lives in. It's Lancaster, PA.
Wow.
So it's kind of fascinating.
So that can't be too far from you. What is it? Hour and a half, 2 hours?
8.
That was a big 8. Oh, that's right. You got okay. Yeah. I'm forgetting where you got.
I'm in the heartland, sir. It's where, it takes 5 hours to drive through Ohio.
Yeah. I was a booking agent, and I did some tour driving for a while, a lifetime ago, and we did a small tour. We started in Portland, Maine, and we ended the last 2 shows were, I don't remember if it was Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, one or the other.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's only an hour and a half.
Yeah,
But
and then we finished there. We drove all the way back up to Portland, Maine.
no, sir.
Insane amount of driving.
I would probably drink enough to make me pass out for that entire time and ask.
Yeah.
Go into a bar, find the biggest guy, ask him to punch me in the mouth.
Yeah, it was broken up. I mean, what were we gone 12? No, it wasn't 12 days. 8 days or something. It took. I think we did like 5 days down, 3 days back or something, and there was a show every night, so we'd stop, bar, hotel room, whatever. It was a lot of driving. It was a blast. And that was a lifetime ago. So I was a younger man then. It was a little easier to do.
You were a young Ken?
Yeah.
Was this back in your Barbie days? Like when you and Barbie used to run around?
It was right at the beginning of my relationship with my wife.
Oh, so immediately put to the test.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Our first real date, we drove to the Electric Factory in Philly.
From Boston?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to go see Clutch, and they were playing at a terrible venue here. And the next closest show was in Pennsylvania. I asked Tanya, I'm like, hey, you want to go?
Why not?
She said yes. I'm like, okay, well, I got to keep this one forever, because nobody would say yes to that.
Still looking.
They're out there.
One day.
Everybody's got someone. Everybody.
Who knows? Mine might just be my cat, and I'm fine with that. She don't talk back. I'm joking.
Yeah, wow.
She meows really loud.
Yeah.
She's been digging at my door the last 20 minutes. But
yeah. You got to run?
Oh, no.
Okay.
She just doesn't like closed doors. But,
yeah. I should probably cut out in the next 10 anyway.
Oh.
Work comes early.
Oh, yeah. I forget. It's
yeah, one of those morning jobs.
I'm an overnight guy, so I get kind of lucky in that department.
Yeah. It's got to be nice and quiet.
Honestly, I just put in my AirPods and I load up whatever episode of the Lex Fridman podcast is new, and I just stock. It's rip shelf. Okay, let's get to work.
Was it Modi? Was the latest episode?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet.
I just got done listening to the Neuralink episode. It's like 13 and a half hours long.
Wow.
And I was like, I like how one of those things, like, if you really want to be a hardcore, you'll listen to it all the way through in one sitting. I'm like, sir, that's clockwork for me. That's a whole shift. Because all my shifts are 12s. And me, I'm an overachiever. Not intentionally, but I will go clock in. I show up an hour early so I can walk to store pick. Okay. I can kind of get like a plan together. And, when I go into work, I'm just wearing this. It's not like whatever, you would wear at Meijer. So I just blend in with the shoppers. I have my little notepad out and I just write down everything. Just so I don't. Yeah, so as soon as I get there, I just tell, the people who need instruction, like, do this. Like, you take care of these, like, 5 aisles, I'll do the rest. Because, like, I have a lot of kids that like to talk, and they only get, like, one or a half an aisle done in a 12-hour shift. Like, you guys are,
Oof.
like, about ready to be terminated. But I appreciate the help. And they just need a shove of, like, a little nudge. Like, no. Like, I know you two lovebirds are falling in love while you're working together, but I'm going to keep you on opposite ends of the store because you're getting paid to work, not a smooch in the aisles.
That's a thing, man.
Ken, you'd be surprised at things I've seen.
Wow.
Overnights is very weird. Like, you'll see where it becomes a little bit more than kissy, and you have to do an immediate termination.
Jesus. Yeah, I haven't. I think last time I worked retail was 99.
I was probably just a wee little baby. Probably didn't have a whole lot of hair on my head either. For sure had none on my chest. That's certain.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I had already been out of high school for 2 years at that point.
So you were the class of 97?
Well, 98 I didn't finish, but yeah, that was enough for me. It's close enough. I was going to get out and join the workforce, which I don't know what the rush was, but
hey, you did it, and it seems like it turned out well.
Yeah, been in the trades for 25 years now, so
Ken's giving me some electrician vibes.
I can do most of it. I try to stay out of the panel, but I've dabbled in just about everything. Did excavation for 17 years. Been doing residential remodels for the last 8.5 or so.
Man, it's starting to sound more like my dad every second, sir.
Yeah,
that was what he did before he became a nurse.
Oh yeah.
He was a mechanic, and then he was a drywaller, and then he's an electrician, then a plumber.
Wow.
Whatever job came his way.
Yeah.
He was the man that knew like 1 million people.
That's great.
Like, had 1 million connections. So if he got tired of like a boss, and he'd be like, "Hey, is that job still?" I reckon that's why like we moved around a lot. It's because he wouldn't stay at one place longer than like a week. But once he found in hospice, once he found that was it, he stayed there for like 20 years.
Wow.
So commitment, sir.
Yeah, that's man, that is hard.
Yeah, and I thought like what I was doing was hard, and I'm like, shoot, he had something way worse. But
the stories. I mean, my aunt was in hospice for a while as a nurse, and her daughter is a dialysis nurse.
Okay.
And just hearing the stories from both of them, it's like, my God, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think I could do it. I think it would tear me apart.
It definitely takes a little bit of personal courage and able to dig really deep to do those jobs.
Yeah.
Especially to do it day after day after day for years. It takes a toll, but I feel like once you get into a certain degree or point of it, you find ways. Being in a certain if you go on like a 18-mile ruck march, you find a way to get through. It's like, let me count how many squirrels. It's just stuff unaffiliated with what you're doing that keeps your mind at like a place of some form of sanity.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep myself motivated to do damn near anything.
Yeah,
it's a test. It's a test of will. It's me against me.
Mm-hmm.
With other people, like I don't know how to console them. I don't know how to tell them that things are going to be all right when you really don't know if they're going to be or not.
Yeah.
but you also don't want to say, listen, things might not be all right, but here's how we're going to cope with it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell somebody that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It takes a toll. And also, like, the hardest question, too, like, I ever gotten, like, when I would tell families, whatever, like, what happens after, And once that line, hits flat, it's like, I have no idea. Like, if I had to take a guess, I think what everyone's scared of is that final breath. It's not so much you worry about after the fact. It's the moments leading up. And I think it's like, I'm personally not scared. Because, like, for me, I just think, like, it's kind of like a second time we experience that. Nothing, like, when there's not a whole lot going on, but you don't remember it because it's already happened. Like, when we're in the womb, we don't remember being in there. It's just, it's a weird thing to even, like, even when you think it just puts your mind in such a funk, you're like, okay, can we go to a better subject? Type thing in my own mind.
Yeah, it's. I think there is some things that are impossible to comprehend.
Yeah, and that's one of them.
So here's one, a lighter one. So you look at a Bluetooth microphone, right? So you're going to talk to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the sound that comes out of your mouth into that thing. And then it goes into another thing.
And then it goes through that thing, and it outputs into this.
Yeah. And then somehow you could put it onto some sort of disc, whether it's a CD or sound comes off of that and then disappears again and comes out of a speaker somewhere else. None of the steps in that chain make any sense.
Well, you see, that's why they say there's magic in the air, kind of, and that magic is called Bluetooth.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier for me to get my head around the idea of an elf living inside the camera painting the pictures that come out.
Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense. It just sound coming out of a piece of vinyl.
It's just someone of my height just living inside your camera.
Yeah. That makes more sense to me. It's just pushing the Polaroid out.
The other thing that blows my mind are those little, they're like the little, like, glasses with the little click, and you put the disc in them, and you'd flick it.
Yes.
And it would still have light somehow, but there's no batteries in there. Somehow there's just light, and you'd be in a bare black room.
The ones with the disc? Is that what you're talking about?
Or you go,
master.
Yeah. Those still blow my mind.
Yeah, it's none of that stuff makes sense.
Those darn children's toys, man.
So, you ever watch Pop's Block Shop?
Yes.
Okay. So he sells Viewmaster discs. And I don't know how we get into that, but, like, for a long time.
It's like holograms.
Yeah. It's a crazy thing to get into.
Like, my one cousin, Jim, he lives down in Maryland, and his hobby is making holographics. He'll, like, have, like, all lasers, like, shooting every which way, and it, like, it'll turn into a picture, like, this big. He hangs in his living room, and the scene is this big. It's like,
what?
Yeah. I'm like,
wow.
He's tried to explain it, and God bless his heart, I love him. Like, he went in a 4-hour tear about explaining it. I'm like, yeah, I picked none of that up. It's like, you're talking big brain. Like, that, he's a man. He designs a lot of, like, the CPUs and stuff that, like, went on to Mars rover and stuff there. Like, this, that's what he does. I'm like, yeah. I barely graduated high school, sir. Like,
that's the big brain work.
Yeah. That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't be me.
Yeah, none of that makes any sense.
No.
I mean, I bang nails during the day and I click little bits of plastic together at night. That's my comfort zone. I'm happy.
Yeah. I just move cardboard in the nighttime and during the day, I try and figure out how plastic works when you connect them together and rip it apart 15 million times.
Yeah, it's one of these days I get to talk to one of these big mock builders and really get in the weeds with them because it's astounding to me.
Yeah.
And but that's the kind of thing that at least makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you can see it, you can like break it down in your head and understand why the things are happening.
Mm-hmm. I hope with the Brick Connection episodes that I have done talking to a lot of these mock building legends, I was able to kind of go into weeds like that for you a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, it's quite a bit has been demystified.
Yeah.
Like I suppose they're not even questions you could properly ask in this kind of setting. Like I wish they'd make a video of, well, here's how you actually make these things turn properly.
Yeah.
Get this angle.
Yeah.
Things like that. What was it? I think it was New Elementary posted something the other day about how to use single studs to make things turn just right.
Yeah.
The placement of that. Things like that, where it's like, oh, that's so basic. And now that I've seen it, I'll know it and I can use it forever. But until you see it, it's like it would never occur to me to put, a stud between the studs and lock it in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. I remember like when Coconut was using the 1x2 plates and the rounded plates, and he's able to make that whole curved wall. I'm like,
Yep.
Sir. And then the fact is, like, a week later, I saw Solid Brick Studios use the technique Coconut used. He's like, oh, yeah, shout out to Coconut for giving me inspiration for his technique. Who thinks of this stuff? Like, if you sat me in a room for a month with those pieces, I would never came up with that. Ain't no way.
Who was I watching? They did a like an underground like drainage system under the city.
That's cool.
And they used the technique where they turned everything sideways and they made the big circle and they actually did it under the city, and then somehow made Lego water come out of it.
That's wacky.
Absolutely beautiful, and
yeah.
You need to have like that just right spot in your mind where you can translate like rectangles into circles.
It's like so how good. There's not enough Minecraft in the world to make that make sense.
Yeah, it's really good stuff, and I suppose it's getting easier. Lego's put out a ton of new molds lately, so you could do some more of these tricks. Even spacing on some of them makes better sense.
Yeah, like even then, I'm like, sorry, Chief, lost in the sauce. It's like, I feel like a caveman with two sticks. Like, ooga nug, wugga wugga wugga. Like, how's this work? It's like another thing that blows my mind is how electric cars work.
They
propel themselves for that. No. That's more big brain than I.
Yeah. What's the name of Mark's co-host on the Brick World channel?
Ben?
Is that his name?
I think it's Ben. There's a couple of co-hosts.
Oh, okay. It's always the same guy when I happen to tune in, I guess.
Like a beard?
Yeah.
Shorter hair?
I think he's got short hair.
Glasses?
Yeah.
Ben.
Okay. So one of the shows I was watching, he was explaining how to make octagons as your base for this thing he was building.
Mm-hmm.
And he built the octagons in 3 different sizes, but they would work together. So he could build, like one, medium-sized octagon with a tree build, and then a large octagon with a house on it, and all one with whatever. And basically, no matter how he positioned them, they would all work together just right. And it's like,
it reminds me of those
serious Lego math.
Yeah, it reminds me of those little Russian egg dolls.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, so that concept, but like vertically.
Oh wow,
Yeah. And
that's a mind warp.
he was explaining the math of it. So to get, you know, this 8 studs this way to double and work out here, you have to go this many studs, but because of plate thickness and all these things, that it was math, and that show was late, and it wasn't computing at all. But it
Hmm.
astounding, and he's explaining it like it's the most basic thing. And here's how I did this. Wow, that is that's why they're on the Brick World channel, and
Yeah,
I'm on building on carpet in the middle of my living room. You know?
you and I are in the same camp, sir.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
uh, thank goodness there's a great app called Stud.io or Brick.io, whatever it's called. That Bricklink designer thing you can do.
yeah,
If it weren't for that, I'd be lost in the sauce. Because it's
yeah,
nice being able to see what you need, how much you need, and every piece is available. So,
yeah. I'm still yet to play with that.
it's fun.
Yeah,
Just know if you want to like click into it, hit it's right click.
it's a right click. Okay,
Yeah, like to move it around.
okay.
It's a right click. Took me about 30 minutes to figure that one out.
Interesting.
It took me a minute. I
Yeah,
ever
why?
don't know.
Not why would it take you that long? Like why would it be right? Okay,
No idea.
I'm sure they have their reason.
Just some Danish reason. That's all I gotta say. Nothing they do over there makes sense.
No, no, it really doesn't. I think they actually make less sense all the time with some of their
Mhm.
decisions.
Yeah.
Like they're bringing all video games in house now.
Hmm.
That's what I saw yesterday or the day before, which seems crazy
Mhm.
since they don't exactly have the best track record with anything technology based.
Yeah. Usually
So
ends in fire. Mhm.
yeah, I mean, Hidden Side's not supported anymore, right?
Yeah.
And there were some people that really loved that theme. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not a lot, but enough. Now they can't even use it for its intended purpose.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would they not just like leave that so people could use it? That seems like a shitty move.
Yeah. It's like I don't. That's about as much sense as Apple removing the headphone jack makes sense.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have a headphone jack in mine. No, no, this is an Android. I don't have headphone jack either.
They're doing you guys dirty too.
I think so.
How are we just tolerating this? Remember back when they would give you the power brick and the charger? Now there's just a cord.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you stingy mother effers. I'm already paying you like 1,500 for a new phone. You can't give me a power brick?
yeah, yeah. That's insane. And I miss being able to like take a battery out, throw the battery away,
Yes.
get a new one, or it's
Get tired of the
SD
world?
cards. Yeah, yeah, it's,
There's no disconnect anymore.
yeah,
No matter how hard you try, you just can't disconnect.
yeah.
There's always
Thankfully,
something you forget that you have that someone can reach you at any time.
yeah, yeah. Thankfully, Samsung at least left me. I still have the pen in my phone,
Oh,
which I love.
you can doodle?
Yeah. Well, the bigger thing is my hands get so filthy at work. Sometimes the touchpad,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
can't type, or I'll have gloves on or something, so I can still pull the pen out, still do what I got to do.
Now, Ken, hold your phone for me like you would text someone.
Like I would text somebody. Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Why?
Both of my parents always did.
No, 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 no. So it's funny because I will always like explain texting like this
Mm-hmm.
because it's really awkward to explain like this.
Yeah.
It's like a weird motion. But yeah, it's almost always two thumbs.
See, like me, if I text, I turn the phone horizontally.
Oh, I can't do it.
So I'll do it like this way.
Huh.
I'm a weird fella. What can I say?
I can't do that because then the actual screen is so narrow.
Mm.
The sentences look like they're this long,
Yeah.
and then I start to worry that I'm sending too many words.
Hey, send me a book. I'd love it.
Yeah, well, that tends to be what I do. Through text, I don't like doing that. Through DMs, I have a bad habit of writing people like 3-part novels.
Like me, I respond to text pretty quick. But if it's a DM, I'll read it and I'll think about it, how I want to respond, and I'll forget. I don't do it intentionally. And I'll see it like 4 days later, be like, oh shoot, I was supposed to reply to that. It's like, it'll be like my luck too. It'll be like some big thing, and that's why I take a moment to step back. Like, okay, let me think about what I want to say, and I'll start thinking about it. And I'm a pretty busy fella. I'm not trying to like use it as an excuse. I just get caught up with other aspects of my life that I forget.
Yeah.
See, I get a DM from a different person, and I'll see that person sent me. I'm like, oh shoot! Like I'll go back and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. There's no excuse. It's like, oh man, the world we live in. The world we live in.
Yeah, it gets tough. So I run a like a subscription service Discord thing on the side too, and on my busy work days, I'm essentially offline. I don't get to look at the phone, meeting inspectors, doing whatever we're going to do. And at the end of the day, I'll look and I'll have 15 or 20 DMs, and I'll try to give them the best answer I can as fast as I can and move on. Sometimes I'll answer and then I'll swipe and then I'll go to the next one, and I won't hit send. And then like a day or two later, I'll get people mad at me like, come on, man, I needed help. What happened? Like, his answer is just sitting there ready to be sent. Like, oh no, I feel like such an asshole.
That happens to me too.
Yeah.
Or that's my big issue, like actual texting people. Is I go too fast and I think I tapped it, but really I tapped like a Q or something right next to it. Yeah. I'm like, whoops. I'll just casually just delete it and hope it's not remembered. That's where I'm like, well, big oof. And I just hear the oof noise from Roblox.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's with every phone or if it's just a Verizon thing or what it is, but now if somebody sends me a message and I don't respond, I like 48 hours later, it'll be like, hey, you read this 48 hours ago and you never responded.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
calling you out, bro.
Yeah. And if I send something to them and they don't respond, it'll be like, hey, it's been 2 days. Do you want to follow up? Like, they didn't answer me after 2 days. They probably just don't want to. I'm not going to bother them. Right?
Yeah, my smartphone is too dumb for that.
Yeah, I don't even know when it started. Yeah, I don't know if it was the last update or maybe it was the last update. It was odd the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Is this a sales pitch of some sort? I've been getting a lot of weird texts from like nobody. Yeah, like yes, a lot of those.
Or USPS saying that your package is held, but yet it's coming from a foreign number. It's like, come on, you gotta be slicker than that.
That's a common thing, apparently. Then, yeah, it reminds me of the like the Facebook scams that were catching all the grandmothers once upon a time.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Beekeeper?
No.
Oh, give that puppy a watch.
Beekeeper. Who's in that?
Jason Statham.
Okay. All right.
Really good.
Action flick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good. It involves a grandma being scammed and he has to go sort it out. It's a weird premise. He's a beekeeper for this one grandma that gets scammed and he goes to figure it out.
Wow.
They're really stretching the balance now, Charlie Brown.
Wow. They've run out of subject matter. Okay.
That's what's next. Is it going to be Mrs. Frizzle's magic school bus gets kidnapped and Liam Neeson has to go rescue it?
I would absolutely watch that.
I would want to have some type of I'm not, some LSD. That'd be like, whoa! You would go out of your world with that one.
Mrs. Frizzle.
It's a magic school bus.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mrs. Frizzle.
It would be extra funny if they could bring in Sandra Bullock to play her.
Yeah.
She could have another role on a bus. It's been a while.
Yeah. We need another Sandra Bullock bus role.
Yeah.
We need to have that as a hashtag, Ken. If the one thing comes out of the night, it's that. No joke.
Sandra Bullock bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I haven't seen her in anything in ages.
The last thing I saw her was like with Channing Tatum in like 2021.
So okay, I guess that wasn't that long ago. What was
2022, my bad.
Okay, so that really wasn't that long ago.
It's just me.
Birdhouse was the last one I was thinking of.
I hated that movie.
Yeah, I couldn't get through it.
I turned that off. I'm like, get this garbage off of my screen. Is you hear Sandra Bullock seem like she'd be super, super, super rude in person?
I can see that.
She just has one of those faces where she'd be like, I think I'm better than you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how you get that vibe from some people.
She gives it to me heavy duty. What kind of vibe do I give you based off my face, Ken?
Exactly the vibe you get when you start talking.
Goofy?
You get a little goofy, very pleasant.
A very pleasant goofy. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's so. So someday, I wish everybody could meet Derek. Derek's the one that does our logo designs, our T-shirts, and whatever else. He's probably like top 5 nicest people on the planet.
I was like interacting with them and stuff in the chat through your stream. Seems very nice.
Yeah, Derek is phenomenal, and like I think you guys would vibe very well together.
It could be dangerous though.
Yeah, you have a nice off.
Nice off. Like, well, you know what? I like your eyes. Well, I like your shirt. Well, you know what? I like your nose. It just
actually. So to kind of bring everything full circle here, at Derek's last job, he worked at a hospital in LA, and part of his job took place in the room where all of the Lego charity donations lived. And he would send me pictures of the piles of Lego sets, like old.
I need to get in touch with him.
In there, yeah, that was his last job. He's not there anymore. But some of the things that they would get donated were like legit stuff, like Rivendell would show up, like things of that caliber would be donated. Like, oh my god!
What hospital was this again?
I think it had like one of the more generic names, like LA Hospital or something like that.
I think I'm feeling a bit of a cold. I might need to go to LA to get checked out.
Yeah. That's a long ride, man.
Hey, I'd be spending that much money in gas for Rivendell anyway.
Yeah.
I'd probably be looking out. I'm joking.
Yeah, that set is so nice. I'll never own that one.
I would love to, but I just can't swing $500 for a set.
Yeah, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going the evil route. That would be the way. So,
Parador.
yeah, I have to. So I figured it out. If I buy it from Barnes and Noble and get the 25% discount,
Yeah.
and then I sell all the minifigs,
hmm
I can get the set for 150, $160.
If you get it and you're selling Sauron, hit a brother up.
All right, we'll do.
I got you.
We'll do.
Or I'll buy the figgies off you.
Yeah. What did I forget what it was? It was, I think Bricklink average was like 200 or something for all of them.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's and some of those they're unlikely to make ever again, right?
Sauron.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the one thing, and all right, there's not a lot of us here, so talk about it, I guess. The one thing I want to do is Sauron. I think would be the only minifigure I would sell as used, because I want to build it for one picture.
Oh.
Because I want the line to be, I spent 40 hours building the set, and all I got was a Sauron in my ass, and he's in the back pocket. Because I think that's just the best terrible line, and I would pay $400 to say that.
That's I adore you.
Hey, I'm a dad. These jokes have to happen.
How would you? How'd your wife feel about that?
Oh, she just rolls her eyes, you know.
As long as that pic sent right to my phone, I'll make it the wallpaper. It'll be like the Bruce Springsteen "Born in the USA" album cover. Instead of the hat, it's just a Sauron.
Yeah,
you gotta do the white T-shirt too, with the little, where he has a hand on the.
Yeah.
It's gotta be just like that.
Yeah.
But make it metal.
Everything should be made metal.
See, I'm a big Jackson Brown guy.
Really? Okay.
Big Jackson Brown stan. What can I say?
You do a lot of the classic rock and things.
That's all I listen to.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the stuff that I grew up with from my dad. All of that.
See, like, that's how it was for my dad. It was just always. That's all. Yeah. Our radio always was on 97.5 WONE, Akron's home of rock and roll.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Yeah. And every one of those stations has the DJ with the same voice somehow.
Yeah. 97.5 WONE.
Yep.
It starts out really fast and goes ONE. It's like, okay. It was like the pre-recorded, like, sloppy seconds of the 2000s. That's all I gotta say. That's if that was too much. I apologize.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, it's weird because the classic rock is always classic rock.
Yeah,
like it. I swear, as new releases, it was already classic rock somehow.
Yeah, we're just gonna pre-age this, boys.
Yeah. But now, a lot of the stuff I grew up with, like buying as new releases, you'll see in the classic here on the classic rock stations. Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Motley Crue, that kind of thing.
Good old Motley Crue.
And I understand maybe classic for age purposes. None of that stuff is classic rock. It's just not.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't belong on those stations.
No.
And I still love Motley Crue. I think I always will. But
what's your favorite Motley Crue song?
Man, that's tough.
Trying to think.
It was second album. No, third. Let me go back. Not Livewire. It might have been.
Mine is easily Time for Change out of the Dr.
Ooh,
Feelgood album.
That's a good one. That whole album was great.
Yeah. There's very few artists that can have almost every album of every song be complete hits. And Motley Crue is one of those.
Let me go back here.
Especially the Time for Change demo. Dude. If you can ever listen to the demo of it, recommend.
Starry Eyes. That's the one.
Oh, yes. Good
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Very good one.
Yeah. Man, Too Fast for Love. That whole album is so good. And so much hair. Yeah.
More hair than I've probably ever had in my entire life.
Yep.
I think where my hair is right now is the longest it's probably ever been in my life.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I was a drummer in a different life. I had hair down to here somewhere.
Whew.
In last time I had hair was 2018. I had like a 12-inch mohawk. That was
2018?
Yeah. So not that long ago. Yeah. When I found out my wife was pregnant with my oldest, I stopped cutting my hair. And I think I finally cut it off when she turned 2. And I have a picture from, I think it was her second Christmas, where I put on an elf headband, so the ears, and I spiked the mohawk straight up like green flames in the middle.
That's
and
great.
it was taller than a Santa hat would be if you stood it up with a pom-pom on it.
Heck yeah.
And I dyed it green for Christmas.
Give him some Joker vibes.
And it was like, you know what? I've had my fun. I just shaved it off again. Basically been buzzed since then.
Like, if I were to take my hair out of my hat, like the front will droop down to like right here.
That's a good length.
It needs to be cut. I'm very much I hate that people can grab my hair if situations happened, and I like to keep it short.
Yeah, I look at hair at this point in my life like it either needs to be a conversation piece or it has no reason to be there.
Yeah.
Like I would grow a mohawk again because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And do it for the joke of it.
But
I have no reason to have it other than that. Yeah, I wear a hat from the time I get out of bed to the time I get back in it. I take it off in the shower,
I always wear a hat. But that's like with the state trooper, I'm happy because I always have those big round hats on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Smokey the Bear hat.
Yep.
It'll be very hard if I were to ever pull someone over to be completely serious. That'd be very difficult. I'm like, look, bro. You see that sign over there? It says 65. You know how fast he was going, sir? Don't be saying no nonsense with me. I know how fast you going, man.
Oh man.
I think I give up more.
You're gonna have to meow at somebody at least once.
If it's a Karen and she's really griping me, yeah, I'll rip her a new one.
Yep.
There's the Ohio State Patrol. They're going viral right now for like all the times they pull over like motorcyclists, like on the little crotch rockets, and it's hilarious. But they get so mad, they go like, I'm like, Lordy.
My God.
Like, these are humans.
It's scary.
Yeah. If you ride those, I automatically kind of like deduct a point from you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. They're too dangerous. I've known too many people that have met their end or lost things because of those, and it's no good.
Yeah. Like, I'm down if you have a Harley or an Indian. Like, I'm right there with you. But That was one of the hard things selling my bike. And I'm like, oh man, it was a good time.
Yeah.
But life calls in different directions.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Had it for like a year. I'm like, okay, time to get rid of her. I need something. Which it was.
It's stuck in the rain too.
Yeah. And I live in Ohio, so I really only get like to use them like a month a year. So it's like, what's the point? Maybe I'm being over.
Is it that cold for that long?
Let's see. We start hitting like winter temps in late October, and it'll stay till sometimes April.
That sucks.
Like next week, we're in the 30s all week.
Wow. Oh man.
I think let's see. What's the average year-round temp in Ohio? It's right around 42
Holy wow.
year-round. Like if you take the average of the entire year, it's about 44.
Wow. And you're not even that far away.
Mm-mm.
That's all right. So you said you're out there in Ohio.
I'm by Lake Erie.
All right. So you're a ways away. So what is that? 12 hours from here, maybe?
Give or take.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought it'd be that much different in that short of a span.
I think it's because we get a lot of it, like Erie goes into Lake Ontario and such like that. We get a lot of Canadian weather.
Okay.
Like off their weather belt.
Yeah, and you're in a ways too.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, that's tough.
Oh well, I don't plan on staying in Ohio forever.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Anywhere specific you're looking at?
I've been looking a lot into Oklahoma.
Really? You don't hear that every day.
No.
Isn't that the most landlocked state?
Yep.
It's an interesting choice.
Like in a perfect world, I'd love Maryland. If I could live anywhere, it'd be there, but it's so expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah.
Like I would only go to get season tickets for the Baltimore Orioles. Just go to every game that I can. But I was looking for like a studio apartment, like in the good side of Baltimore. You're paying about like $1,800 a month in rent
for a studio.
Yeah, because you're really close to the capital of the United States. You're like a 20-minute drive, so it's steep, and it's like.
I wonder what a studio costs here.
In Boston?
Yeah, that's the only like unit size I don't think I've ever looked at.
Let's see. Let's just go with the very first listing I see. Holy mackerel. $3,479. But don't worry, your first month is free.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be like actually Boston proper though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, that's steep.
Yep.
You ain't joking, sir.
Yeah. So where I'm at, a new tenant lease, like not a renewal, for a 2-bedroom is $3,200 a month for a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. I make that in like 3 months.
Yeah, it's the prices make it tough to live.
Yeah. And then Lego on top of it?
Yep.
Sir. Need some changes.
And 2 kids that just eat and eat and eat. And oh my God. One of them still in diapers. Yeah.
Sir, I'll be getting those machine washable diapers sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we're working on potty training. It's
there we go.
Eventually those will go away.
So you're saying they don't train themselves?
Yeah, unfortunately not. I don't know. I mean, maybe boys do because it's easier, but
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, there's a lot of clothing removal. So, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
they're so
I
messy.
can see it. Yep. Blowouts are probably a big thing.
Yeah, and oh man, what a pain.
Well,
But we learned after the first one that when diapers go away, you don't actually save any money because they just continue to grow out of their clothes every 5 minutes, and then they eat more. So
oh yeah,
yeah.
that's true. But Ken, is there any final questions you have, sir?
Um, what's next? What's next for you in the Lego world?
Um, it's very. I don't want to put myself into a permanent plan, is because like I have to go for a few months.
Yep.
I have to go do that. Um, I would, in a perfect world, I'd love to keep this show going, even while that's going on, because I'll have weekends at home. Um, but I also have to kind of think while I'm doing all that, I have to study a lot. And personally, I would like to. I've always wanted to get into mock building. Um, and I'm really liking what I'm doing with the Simple Man apartment. It's really fun being able to piece together something so small and see it like packed with all this detail and what I can, yeah, I try to stay as accurate to Attack of the Clones as I can, but I've had some fun with it. Like, oh, for people who stay till the very end, like in the closet or whatever, let's see if we can get a shot of it. I put some cool lattes in there, like Simple Man. He's a thirsty boy.
Yeah, he's earned a drink or two.
Yeah, he's just a simple man, you know. But going forward, I'd like to make the show. Um, I would love to eventually get to a point where I could get M&R on and have him as a guest. Uh, simple lattes. That's it. Simple lattes. But I'd love to be able to get Ryan on the show in some capacity. Just because, he's the biggest name in the Lego Star Wars space. And just to give him an opportunity to kind of like, pull back the curtain a little bit and see what it's like being at that elite level and what that stress and if it's overwhelming or if there's a constant battle of like self-doubt or what's it called, imposter syndrome, trying to keep up with how you were at like your peak, if that's like something that's present.
Oh,
Like,
at your peak. Oh,
no, like
I
I
know.
feel like as like people who are in that space, they know like what their peak was, like their highest performing video, like the chase of trying to keep creating that.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try, that's impossible. I feel because analytics are constantly changing by the second based off of the attention span of people. Um,
Well, I would. I mean, as somebody who has basically no following, my suggestion would be to hold off as long as you can on that interview.
Yeah,
Because you talk about peaking.
that would be peak.
I don't know how you top that because I don't think anybody's ever had that interview with him.
I know how you beat it. You just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like my goal of the show is not to get the views or whatever. It's mainly to provide information and a chance for these creators to just be completely 100% genuine and authentic without having to worry about the view count or how a video performs. Just them, it's no longer just M&R, it's just Ryan.
Yep.
And that's who you're talking to. But, I just want to, I would love to get to a point where I can do these videos or interviews live with the person and have the chat there.
Yep.
You know, like kind of like what Shy does. You know, he'll travel to there. I would like to do that, and you know, maybe instead of it being in like this curtained little section of my bedroom, you know, it could be in the middle of a food court at a mall. You know, just the most random spots. You know, or like one of them being in the middle of a YMCA basketball court with a foldable table. Just I don't know.
Let's do burgers and bricks.
Yeah, it was just two random like in and out. You know, get a burger and a brick. Just talk.
Yeah.
Have some lunch while you're going. Some sloppy smears from the animal style sauce. You know, in 4K definition. But yeah, I mean, just growing the show so it has more of a reach to more people, so they can see what their creators feel, and not to be too hard on them. And also, I want to start doing more builds. I'm really having a good time with this little Simple Man thing. It's a headache trying to find all the pieces I need. Like, I have all this left on it, you know, like this back piece, the side, and I don't even know how to go about it. Like, yeah, Bricklink, but I don't even know what pieces are needed. So it's like, we'll see.
Yeah, that'll take some playing around.
Yeah, this might be the most finished tickets, though. To be fair.
Well, you got what, 2 months or so, 2.5.
Yeah, but I might forget about it. Never know. But
well, you're gonna have a UCS set to put nearby, so
yeah,
every time you look at that, you'll get a little reminder.
Yeah, and another point too is what I want to do with the channel is be able to provide a, you know, like a real life insight of like, you know, take someone through a complete start to finish of my day. That's something I'd like to do. You know, take the camera to jiu-jitsu. Like one interview I really want to do is have everyone that's inside of my, you know, academy for jiu-jitsu, and we just talk Lego because everyone's had an experience with it, and I want to get like an outsider's perspective because they all know how into this thing I am, and I want them to, you know, peel back the skin and just let loose. Like, dude, this is the dorkiest thing, or no wonder why you're single, or you know, like whatever it is, you know, just I don't know, be able to provide, make the connection not so much just who we know in the Lego space or the Lego space as a whole, but branch out to people who, you know, go to a bar one day, be like, hey, what do you think about Lego? And just have a chat for an hour. You know, just stuff like that. I want to bring more of a realistic approach to what this hobby is.
Truly explore the world of Lego.
Yep. Not just, you know, I want to bring as many people into different communities or bring it into the community as a whole. So I guess it's just continuing that mission.
It's good stuff, sir. I love that.
I appreciate it. We'll get you on the Brick Connection here soon, Mr. Ken.
Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, we went for a 3-piece.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not record breaking though, is it?
For us, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think 2:47 was our longest.
Shoot. Now, if someone beats it, we'll have to do it again.
All right. I'm down.
I'm always down to keep the longest title. You know, I like to go for a long last. You know, no one likes.
Make sure Saunders is around because I know he's sad he's not here.
I know none of us like a quick finish. Yeah. So
that's the truth.
That sounded really bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing with me. Like it could sound like really bad, but it's never the intent.
Yep.
Just how my mind rolls. I'm very much an 8-year-old trapped in a 20-something-year-old body.
Don't ever lose that.
I'll try not to.
That forever. It's a good way to be.
I shall try for as long as the world lets me.
Yeah. That's its own issue. But All right, man. Well, thank you again. I
Oh, thanks.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, sir. It's been a good time. It's like our first time chatting, and here we had more than a conversation. We had good laughs and talked music, veered off Lego a little bit, and we're able to get it back on track.
I love it. That's how these are supposed to work.
Exactly.
All right. Well, have a great night.
You too, sir.
For sure. See you around.
Yeah, I'll be wherever you are. I'll probably be too.
Yep.
We'll cross paths sooner rather than later.
Cool. All right, man. Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight.
You too.